There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
Trying to come into focus here. Good morning, everybody. Oh, here we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Friday, March 13th. No wonder I can't figure out how to get me on the screen in the proper positioning here. There we go. Oh, no. We're going to cancel today's show because it's Friday the 13th. What good are we going to be here to go over the predictions and previews on Friday the 13th when it's going to be left up to chance, to random circumstance, to higher authority than us? We've got to handicap our way through and try to overcome this bad luck source here on Friday the 13th. We can do it together. Thank you for joining me here on the Morning Steam. And we're going to preview some college basketball. Of course we are. We're going to preview afternoon games here. We're going to leave the night games to Mikey. Got to leave him some content there for his show tonight on pre-gaming. So we'll look at semifinal games in the afternoon. We'll look at some quarterfinal games in the afternoon. We'll look at NBA. We'll look at our 2 games in the NHL because, I could do 14 games, but 2 games, that's a lot harder. So we'll try to find some winners there after a pretty good day here yesterday. Thank you for joining me, everyone in the chat. Should be a pretty good show, an important show today, right? Oh, there's just a little something called the World Baseball Classic here at the end of the day as well. Well, we want to check that out, probably. And there's some steam that just came in. What do you think? Should we go to it right away and check it out and see what it is? Because there's been some movement here today. We know it's a very navigable card. Is that a word? Did I just make that up? It's a card that we can handle. It's got a lot of important games. It's got, yesterday was the most games that they're going to be for the rest of the season. And then kind of the same thing today. It's just kind of deteriorating here. And then the most you'll have is, supposed to be 16 on the opening Thursday and Friday. With those other tournaments. Bad news there yesterday. What did they say? One of the additional what is the criteria? Is it just don't have enough good teams? But they said that the CBI tournament has been canceled due to circumstances beyond our control. Oh, no. Does that have anything to do with Friday the 13th? The CBI has been canceled. That's terrible news for gamblers. You know what we need? We need the Gamblers Invitational. That's what we need. We're going to take all the teams that had the best spread records that didn't make any tournaments, and we're going to put them in our own tournament called the Gamblers Invitational. These are the best spread teams in the country. You could have a team maybe that went 5-25, but they were 20-10 against the spread. They're the number 1 seed in the Gamblers Invitational, and then the results are determined by if you covered the spread or not. You can only advance if you cover the spread. I might be onto something there. I just made that shit up. All right, Kansas and Houston steam to the under just right now. Now, there's some circumstances regarding this game. Again, we'll leave it to Mikey tonight to maybe break down some of the late games here, including the Big 12. But Kansas and Houston, interesting, steam to the under, right? Because, look, we know Houston can definitely bring you an under. Kansas, believe it or not, or we know because we're here every day, they're a big. These are two huge under teams here right now between Kansas and Houston. The Steam just came in on the under here, 130, 136. And we're seeing that Steam move here right now, and it's down to what? 134 here between Kansas and Houston. That's significant. When you have a game like that, it's going to be a great game. It really was 136. It kind of got dummied up a little bit, actually. Now it's at 134 and a half here with Kansas and Houston. I will say this about Kansas, kind of in these, we know we've seen enough Kansas. I mean, it's totally interesting game. We know that huge game here in the Big 12 semifinals tonight. Also, Iowa State and Arizona tonight, and in the other Big 12 conference semifinals. Mikey's going to handle those. We're going to let Mikey handle the night games, but I'll just gives me an opportunity to talk about Kansas and Houston and maybe a little bit of the Big 12 conference because they're not really in our preview today. But yes, I mean, Houston, we know, I mean, they played some of the lowest scoring games around, right? Especially come tournament time. Sometimes they get some really funky scores here down the stretch. But I will say, Kansas, you put them in the Kansas City. Some of those games have gone over. It's a pretty low total, but come on, those two teams, it's going to be an under probably tonight, isn't it? All right, we'll keep you updated. We're going to have more steam here for sure throughout the show. There's plenty of games out there, even though, maybe I should go to the chat, see if Nuki's here telling us how many games there actually are today. And we'll preview a few quarterfinals. Of course, we're going to cover the first game of the day. We're going to cover that first game of the day, George Washington and St. Louis. And we're going to talk a little bit about yesterday, and we're going to talk a little bit of, like I said, of the World Baseball Classic here as well. But let's kind of talk about what went down yesterday in college basketball with the tournament here. Some interesting games for sure at the NCAA conference tournaments. We started with Kansas here. I'll talk Kansas here. They beat BCU here. I'll flip the script a little bit. Keep it straight here in the Big 12. Kansas over BCU to get their bid here to the semifinals. The Jayhawks here in Kansas City went to the foul line 37 times because, of course, they did. TCU went to the foul line 18 times, and the Horned Frogs led by 4 with 8 minutes left in the game. But El Marco Jackson was 10 for 10 from the line. They just stepped right up, and Kansas did get that win there last night in the Big 12 over TCU. So Kansas got this bid here in the semifinal, got this berth here into the semifinals there yesterday, and also put the right games up here so I can take a look at them. Also, Houston over BYU. They'll face them here 73-66. Houston got the win there yesterday over BYU. AJ DeBenza set a conference tournament record for points scored in 3 games, but they could not get that done. BYU led by 7 late in the first half. Houston got its 4th straight win, and they're into that game there in the Big 12 here tonight. And the other game, of course, is Iowa State and Arizona. News from the Big 12, they're going to dump that great-looking court. I mean, come on. What are you doing? If it wasn't good enough in the first place, now they're going back to an all-wood court here for the last 2 games in the Big 12. I liked it, man. It was kind of like, remember the old game NBA Jam, and out there at the Big 12, you'd make a three-pointer, and then did you notice it? The 3-point line would light up yellow or fire, like you were hitting the 3-point. I want that. I want the guy should make a shot, and the little LED light should like put a little fireball underneath him as he ran back down the floor. And they had the ads on the thing. I thought it was great. The court's made of glass; it was too slippery, and some of the teams complained, some didn't. And did you not know? I mean, they've used these courts out there before for some other events, not necessarily anything too big, but sometimes some all-star events, I think, or maybe some other conferences have used something like this. But the all LED, I like it. I'm an old guy and I want it. I'm all about it. Bring me, screw those guys. Let's make them play on this thing, and let's do like all kinds of Let's do like maybe the guy will be dribbling the ball and like an arrow will come out, like pass it to this guy, and you'd see it on the ground. I'm goopy today here on Friday the 13th. Let's continue some of the other games, though, here from last night in the MAC. We had the big news, of course, with Miami. It's all anybody's kind of talking about even still here today as they beat they lost to UMass 87-83 to ruin that perfect season that they were going to need. Could you imagine being told that you need to win all these games after you go 31-0, so they lose their first tourney game? Not only that, why did the MAC put Miami in the early game? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, isn't that your featured team? Why aren't they in prime time? I don't know if it affected them like that or not there, but Miami did lead with led by 11 with 8.5 left to go in the game, but UMass dominated the boards, and Miami didn't really look that good. Remember, they had all those close games. They had the overtime games as well, where they were due to lose, and they played a team in UMass that has a proven track record coach in Frank Martin. Why do I like Frank Martin so much more as a bald guy compared to when he was a jackass with hair? Kind of like myself. Frank Martin actually likable there after the game, and they got the win. And he pleaded a little bit, said, "Hey, this team's a good team. They got to let them in." Will they get in? I don't know. I mean, if you went by the metrics, they would not get in. They clearly would not get in. But that's not how this works. This is a TV show. And not only that, right? We know that. What do we do with the tournament committee? We always complain. What are they doing? These tournament committee, they don't even know what they're doing letting this team in. If they're so bad, they're going to let them in, right? They don't care about the real, true metrics of it. They want the best stories. And not only that, it's going to be great for television on Sunday night when we're watching the tournament draw. And, they go to they cut to the video of the team sitting there all together, laying back, sitting watching for their name. Half the time it's BS because they know they're getting in, right? But now with the cameras, it used to be back in the day when they started doing that, they'd only have like 4 or 5 teams they'd have featured because, you had to get like a big TV truck out there. You had to like set up TV equipment. Now someone just can put up their phone or something, or at least a good, I'm sure a lot of teams have like a little production, a good camera to help with CBS or whatever. But that'll be the team everybody will be watching on Sunday to see if they get their name drawn here. My thinking is, and this is not my idea, but you put them in the Dayton game. We heard that there from several sources. You put them in that little play-in game, the one that I always complain about, not the one where the 2 bottom conferences play an entry game. You're going to have the MEAC winner against the NEC winner or something like that to get in. It's that one. It's the 11-11 game where what these teams are, the last in out of the at-large, and they make them play a play-in game. This is the most unfair thing I've seen in the NCAA tournament. It doesn't seem to make any true sense. They just have extra games there on Tuesday. We know we have 4 games on Tuesday, or 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday, and 4 teams get into the field, right? It's a field of 68. And then they play those little games in there over the 2 days or whatever, and then we have the field of 64. As some teams get eliminated in that process. They've done that for like 10 years now or more, I think. So that's where they'll end up, hopefully. And they play in Dayton every year. They play in Dayton because Dayton's always been, if you didn't know this, I mean, Ramon fact just here, but Dayton has always been kind of a good basketball team, and Dayton's played in the tournament before, and Dayton's hosted the tournament. It's always just an incredible atmosphere in Dayton. So they earned that right. They've been hosting these games for years, and that's where they should end up. Now you got Miami of Ohio in Dayton. I mean, that'll be great, and they can play their way in, and hopefully they'll beat some other 11. Hopefully. you know who they're going to put in, or you know who. It's going to be one of two things. It just depends how many bid stealers out there come across here in the next couple of days. That's what's going to determine it. But what you need to do is you need to put them up against Auburn. You need to put them Miami of Ohio versus Auburn in that seat, or Miami of Ohio depends, like I said, on the bid stealers. Miami of Ohio to replace Auburn. You saw Bruce Pearl in the stands there yelling and screaming and cussing there and trying to get some calls to go, but that's what it should be. It should be Miami of Ohio and Auburn. That'd be perfect. Everybody love that. And Miami of Ohio can beat the pants off of those guys for the mid-majors. Right? We always say about, they didn't get in because they didn't play the quad. They didn't play, and they don't deserve to get in the tournament. Let's put in, the 8th place team from the SEC or the 7th place team from the Big 12. And then what happens? They still lose to the shitty mid-major team, right? And then what's the difference? So that's what we'll do. That's what'll happen, and hopefully that'll be entertaining. Make it. That's what the committee wants, right? The committee's job, yeah, they pick the teams, but how many times? It's St. John's going up against Louisville, right? A coach against his old team, right? They're dick around with it all they want and give some goofy matchups, and this is a perfect opportunity for them. Hopefully Miami of Ohio, I think we want them in, even though I was down on them after that celebration against Ohio University where they flipped off the fans and really looked like a bunch of jackasses winning. I mean, you won. You don't need to go show, now they lost. They got what they deserved, Miami of Ohio. They acted like jackasses against Ohio U, and then they got the karma. They got karma there yesterday. So that's maybe that should have been the lead story, really. Miami of Ohio. Give me your thoughts on Miami O. Look, I said I think we want them in, even though they were jerks. All right. ACC last night, Clemson held off North Carolina. They led by 18 with 11.5 left. Carolina came almost all the way back to the Tigers and won 2 in the ACC tourney for the first time in 16 years. 18 years, and the Tar Heels, they're one and done for the first time in a dozen years. Duke, 17-point favorites over Florida State, won by 1. FSU had a chance at the end to win it, but missed their shot. Duke dominated the boards, but the Seminoles were hot from the inside, and Duke only has 6 guys on their team, really. Can they only afford that many guys? Are these guys just so much better? The 7th guy got in there for like 5 minutes, but we're talking about all these NIL. Are those bottom guys getting paid NIL? If you are, why are you sitting there on the bench? Does Duke pay that much NIL money to their bench that you can't go out and go play for, some other, a smaller, mid-major team, and you can star and take that team to the finals? We're going to be without those mid-majors. Remember when Butler would go to the finals, Florida Atlantic, my Aztecs? And that time seems to be past. Miami beat Louisville 78-73. Louisville was hot inside, but they were cold from outside. The Cardinals stumbled here and were eliminated. ACC semifinals tonight. We'll let Mikey hit those up. Miami and Virginia, Clemson and Duke tonight. SEC. Tennessee did beat Auburn 72-62. Auburn led by 10 with 11.5 to go, but Tennessee outscored them by 20 the rest of the way, and we'll see. But Auburn may be the one that won't be happy on Sunday because they're going to the not-in tournament unless things break their way, and they'll pick Miami of Ohio over Auburn. How about that? Mountain West last night, Utah State over UNLV, as UNLV beat the number 1 seed Aggies twice during the regular season, but lost in this one as Utah State made them turn the ball over a bunch of times. And Utah State will take on Nevada. Also, New Mexico takes on San Diego State tonight in the Mountain West. We'll leave Mikey to cover some of the late action. And I will say this, though, about San Diego State taking on New Mexico. That's my Aztecs. And, for San Diego State, they are a team that recruits nationally, right? They bring in the best talent they can, I don't want to say the cast aside players that don't go to the big schools, they can compete. They've competed for years. I mean, when we said they were in the NCAA finals, they're in the tournament every year. They're going to need to win the tournament here because it looks like the Mountain West is going to be a one-bid league if San Diego State or maybe another one of these four teams left, could be New Mexico, could be Nevada. Utah State's probably going to get in no matter what. So if Utah State loses, they could be a bid stealer there in the Mountain West. If San Diego State, for example, they play New Mexico tonight. San Diego State, like I said, they recruit nationally. New Mexico, they recruit San Diego. There's two guys on New Mexico. Shot fake Jake Hall, the team's leading scorer. You saw him yesterday, man. The guy is so crisp around the basket. When he's not shooting, he's shot faking, and then he's dishing a beautiful pass to a teammate. And also Luke Haupt of New Mexico as well. So those guys would like to beat San Diego State probably. We'll see what happens tonight. It's a near pick'em, and I can't wait for that game. I want to see my Aztecs there. Also, Wisconsin edged Washington. Washington came all the way back to get that money last night in the Big 12, in the Big 10 tournament, as Blackwell, 34 points, 10 rebounds for Wisconsin there in that one. We talk about the teams that went to the Big 12, the Pac-12 got broken up, right? And how are they going to do making, UCLA really couldn't travel that well in their games. That made coach pissed because, you had to keep traveling back to the Midwest to play all those teams. And that's why UCLA, they had here's a UCLA team that won, every game basically for 8 years straight back in the day with Kareem and Bill Walton. But this year had one of their best years ever, at least in the modern era, at home. But on the road, they just couldn't get it done. And the same thing here with Washington. 2 years in the Big Ten for Washington here. Thought this would be a great idea. They're 11-30 in conference play, including conference tournaments for Washington. So, look, the Pac-12 is back, and it doesn't involve these teams. And they're going to be in there, and they're going to have to keep making those trips. They signed their fate when they agreed to join those conferences. Atlantic 10. We'll preview one of the games here, the early game between George Washington and St. Louis, but Bonaventure came back to beat Mason last night, 63-57. Here come the Bonnies again. They did thrive at the foul line, 18-25, while George Mason was just 3 of 6, and George Mason faded badly. They were 13-1 at one point, but lost 8 of their last 5. And, Bonnies, and we talk about Woj, of course, but their coach, Mark Schmidt, retiring after 19 years there. So he's a great coach there, and he's got, the Bonnies have always been an interesting program here. He's gotten to the NCAA tournament before, and could we see Bonaventure be a surprise team in the Atlantic 10? They're an underdog today against those Dayton Flyers. American Conference North Texas over Florida Atlantic in the American. Lots of fouls in that one, lots of free throws. The teams are a combined 50 of 76 from the free throw line in a snooze fest, but North Texas advances. They'll face Tulsa, and Charlotte will take on UAB. We'll preview one of those games coming up. Conference USA, Louisiana Tech over Middle, 80-69. Tech never trailed. That snapped Middle's losing streak, and the Bulldogs will play Missouri State here. Look out for the Bears and the Bulldogs here. We'll preview that one in our Conference USA semifinal preview. My UCSD Tritons lost to Northridge last night, kind of ending their run a little bit here. The coach of that team is the coach now at New Mexico that was pretty good for them over the couple of years. They're fading here a little bit right now, but it was CSUN getting that win. The Tritons led by 9. I thought they were looking pretty good, but Larry Hughes Jr., he was 14 of 25 from the floor, and he had 1 assist. So we know what his job is for Northridge. They'll play Irvine tonight. The Matadors haven't made the tournament in 17 years. WAC tournament, Texas Arlington over Southern Utah here. News out of the WAC, Texas Arlington does advance here with that win, and we'll have the semifinals tonight in the WAC. One thing about the WAC, one of the teams here, Utah Valley, they were supposedly banned from the Western Athletic Conference tournament, but they had to put $1 million in escrow or something like that to get eligible. They can go to the NCAA tournament. They'll play UT Arlington tonight, and also Utah Tech takes on Cal Baptist there. So, all right, hopefully that's a little bit of recap to a little bit of news here to keep you the stories that I found interesting with yesterday's action here. We did have also some winners here on the show yesterday on the Morning Steam, including George Washington and Fordham, right in that early game. Oh, did we take care of you there? Okay, with that parlay with first game with UMass and Miami of Ohio, taking UMass plus those points in the over with our coach, with Frank Martin. Man, I hated that guy. Now I like him. Also, George Washington and Fordham game to go under. We definitely had that one yesterday here on the Morning Steam show. And we had some other nice winners as well. Kentucky and Missouri game to go over. We had that one here on the Morning Steam there. And also, how about I want to check our NBA results here real quick. We'll get into the show. I want to say hello to everyone here. We're going to have a great Friday of sports betting information, but we did come through with some winners in the NBA last night as well, including the Detroit Pistons over the Philadelphia 76ers in the they won and covered the big number there. We had the Miami Heat in the Tankathon over Milwaukee there yesterday. We had a winner, Nets and Atlanta game to go under was our winner on the show here at the Morning Steam. We also had the Boston Celtics plus the points in that big game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, when the ESPN thing went off, and it said SGA breaks Wilt Chamberlain's record, I took a double take because I'm like, I was watching college games. I had that game on. I wasn't thinking of the time or anything. That was a late game, but when I saw it, I'm like, see, I told you someone was going to score 101 points. Watch out. SGA might score 101 in one of these games. What he did was he set the all-time record for the most consecutive 20-point games, snapping Wilt Chamberlain's record. I think SGA is the MVP. Go to your Kalshi. I know the odds are getting away again on him here, but I think SGA is your MVP over Wemby. Wemby also missed another game. I think he'll have enough games, but he has missed some games, and so is SGA, but I think Wemby's, I think, a little bit closer to the missing of the 17 games that'll take you out of contention, but they're going to fix that. Just don't even have it, right? If the guy misses 20 games, and one other guy plays all the games, the voters will know. They don't need any guidance here. What it does is they're trying to make sure that guys play in their games. That's all. Also, we had the Lakers on the Morning Steam show in the Tankathon with a winner there last night. All right. NHL real quick, and then we're going to start. I'm going to say hello. Thanks, everybody. We did have some winners in the NHL. St. Louis Blues on the puck line against Carolina last night. That was our winner here. We also had winners with here we go with the NHL trying to find the winners again. Edmonton and Dallas game to go over. What an embarrassment there for the Edmonton Oilers. After two impressive wins, they give up 7 goals to Dallas yesterday. Also, we had the Flyers on the puck line over Minnesota. They actually got the win. We also had the Chicago Blackhawks on the puck line over Utah. They got the win as well. And that was it. All right. Let me say hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me here. Get ready to go with our games today. It's going to be Jimmy Lambeau joining us here today. Crip Keys in there, ready to roll with his picks already. C. James as well. Jimmy Lambeau talking about those UFC fights from 2 weeks ago there with King Green. Here's Nuke. I knew he was there. I didn't even look. Nuke tells us 33 games today. Here's some steam right now on the over between Southern U and Florida A&M. Some steam to the over. Here it was 144.5. We're up to 145.5 right now. Is that it? No, 146. We're seeing some steam here with Southern U and Florida A&M. Steam there to the over in that one. Okay, I don't think I have a problem with that. It's just that there is some Southern U in conference tournament games usually is an under. I think 9 of their last 10 tournament style games have gone under this number. Good morning to Bobby Mack in there. JP Farley is ready to go. And wow, Nuke, Does that ever happen? Do they ever? Probably does, right? I don't know. Do they ever have back to back July Friday the 13th there? And see, James going to be watching that the World Baseball Classic. Cheshire Cat got banned. He was fine until he broke out the pedo card. You can't break out the pedo card there in the chat. I mean, all right. Cash Kane here. Greg Gibson as well. Also here, let's see, Jimbo, good morning. Hey everyone, like this video and subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Here, Blake is here. Hey, there's JD in the chat. JD, he says the Aussie girls. What? JD, how about the big? Look, this is one of the biggest stories. If you had to really look, and JD knows, and shame on me for not mentioning it yesterday. It kind of slipped my mind because when you popped in there, and I'm like, and I don't think I hit that Hawthorne. Oh yeah, Hawthorne crushed Essendon in the AFL game last night. But I was talking to JD, and JD, do you have a comment on that big moment there last night in the NRL match? There, I was watching the game and the record-setting try there yesterday. Amazing moment there for Alex Johnston, the NRL great, set the all-time try-scoring record in a National Rugby League, a record that stood for 57 years, and the fans came on to the pitch. Amazing. It reminded me of Hank Aaron hitting his famous home run in the major leagues, and the fans come out to greet him on the field. The fans rush the field there to celebrate. And Johnston is an interesting player, especially in Australia, because of his heritage, where they honor I don't want to skip the right terminology, David, native Australians there, or indigenous, of course, that's what it's called down there, and celebrated that moment there yesterday. Really an amazing scene if you get to check it out. The game was halted there. They had to send everybody to the locker room and clear the field. I tweeted about it if anybody checks me out over at Ramon Scott Media. Where is my name, as a matter of fact? Why isn't it up there like it's supposed to be every day here? I don't know what's going on. I can't get my name up there. Did I have to do something here? I don't know. Oh, well, that's all right. Everybody knows who I am. Okay. Who else is here? Let me get the comments out of the way, and then we'll get the show going here a little bit. Jimmy here also. And Nuke says they're going to the NIT. Oh, that's sad. Nuke, I don't know if they are. Like I said, I think that, yes, while we might say, like, how could they put him in there? We all know. We know they had the 305th strength of schedule, no quad, one win, whatever. But that the committee does not really. They say they might care, but they always make dumb, they're the one, and the guy gets on there and tries to make excuses at the end of the show. All right. Let's see here. Bobby Mack talking about the late covers in there. Greg says got some fraudulent teams. He says today's going to be even better, though, for college. It'd be great if the host would get to the previews. Here we got some Friday. Do we have some good Friday fixtures today? Parma and Torino. Villarreal and Alabs here, St. Pauli and Mönchengladbach, Auxerre, and Marseille. No action in England here, I don't believe, today, in the APL anyway. And AOD is here as well. And Greg's right. They were the team that was not ready to go. And his bar in there, he's got some picks, it looks like. And, whoa, look at this. Chicago Joe says, windy in Chicago today. Tennessee and Vanderbilt today. That's actually the one. That's our preview game, believe it or not, Bar. I'm previewing one game in the SEC, and that's it. Big Crypto fell asleep at that Denver Nuggets game there. Hey, we nailed it. We nailed the game definitely here. If anybody also, don't forget, I want to mention I'm on another show here on YouTube. Cover the spread. I'm the solo host, and on that one, my best bet, or one of my bets was under in the Celtics and the Thunder game. yesterday. Make sure you're checking out Cover the Spread on YouTube if you want more picks from Ramon. Anyway, Trevor Davis, good morning. Hey, real quick, let me make a programming announcement. You can watch BB MMA Picks here with our preview for UFC Fight Night from the Meta Apex here in Las Vegas. You got to say Meta. Here on Saturday, March 14th. Featherweights, top 15 contenders with Josh Emmett, the 41-year-old, up against Kevin Vallejos here, a 24-year-old Argentine. This qualifies under the Mikey Money 10-year rule or 8-year rule, whatever. There's 17 years separating these two guys. Vallejos, 24 years old. He's won 6 straight professionally, actually, and won over Chikadze last time out. Emmett, of course, has taken on all comers for years. He's kind of tumbling down the scales here and could be on his way out at 41 years old. It still gives you a great effort every time, but here he's fallen down here from taking on some of the formidable guys that he's been taking on in the past. So check out BB MMA Picks underneath the live tab here on the Sports Money Network. Our guest this week was a man who you see on the screen, at least his text each week, and I try to point him out, Adam Martin. If you watch in between when the next round starts and they show those little tweets from X on the screen, you'll see Adam Martin there almost every fight. He comments, and he commented with us in the previews. We also previewed welterweights, Chris Curtis and McDebeck Oralby, everyone's favorite Kurg. There, Have Fight Will Travel, that's his theme, and lightweights with Balaji Oki and Manuel Sosa. You got to see Sosa here, the 25 DWCS man, former Bellator, LFA, PFL guy. Remember, we showed him there. We covered him in that Contender Series fight here on the Sports Money Network. So he's really beat everyone except for Colgan, a hot prospect from PFL when they fought in Bellator a couple years ago. So check that out. Here, get ready for Fight Night. I'll send out my picks for UFC Fight Night tonight as well. We are underway in golf today as well from Ponte Verde Beach, Florida there. We got some steam here real quick. It's Alabama A&M, those jerks. Could you believe that? They beat Texas Southern after 25 straight wins, and I was popping off here like I was some we got the team 25. We're going with this other team. They beat them 25 in a row. They blew the lead. Alabama A&M came all the way back and won it in overtime there to win for the first time in 26 games or whatever against Texas Southern. And maybe that's was meant to be. Maybe that's why it was just a pick 'em. But Alabama A&M just got steamed right now. They were a 1-point dog, but I believe now Alabama A&M has moved to the slight favorite, and we're going to preview that game as our SWAC preview here. Also, that game has just been steamed as well to the under right now. Prairie View A&M and Alabama A&M. Also, another game here right this second. Let me get all these together. We're steaming here in the HBCUs. Delaware State and North Carolina Central steam to the under here in this one. I don't see. I don't know about that. Delaware State and NC Central steam to the under here. It was 133, but we are quickly down here to 131. 130.5 right now at DK with Delaware State and NC Central steam to the under coming in right now on this very important day. Prairie View A&M and Alabama A&M steam to the under. It was 142. And a half here, and like I said, this one's going to be our preview game. It's down to 141 right now with that steam to the under. Prairie View and Alabama A&M. We'll get to it here if I can ever catch up and get rolling with our show. But we just got so much interesting information coming across here right now, don't we? So let's see here. Bobby Mack says, you got to go down a little bit, Ramon. You got to look a little bit deeper on the card to find some good action from England here. So what do we got there today? Thanks, Bobby. I'll look into it here. League 2 game. Okay, League 2 game. I see it here with Crawley Town and Colchester. And everybody's ever read about Crawley Town, right, Robert? A very unique team for sure. Good morning to Wine Time here. And there's Greggy. Okay, who else? Everybody in? All right, let's just get started. What about Louisiana Tech today? What did I say here? That's in our preview. Here. Okay, let's do it. We're going to have more previews. We're going to start with the NBA, if that's okay. We've still got 90 minutes before that first college game. We still got to keep going with the NBA tonight. All 8 games have implications in the postseason here in the picture. So let's go to the NBA, if that's okay. Right now, get it started. I'm leaving a bunch of, me, I just keep talking, and I maybe I spend too much time prepping for the show. I should be sleeping because I leave half the notes on the cutting room floor here. All right, let's go here with the Knicks in the Tankathon taking on the Pacers today. The Knicks are. They're actually down a little bit here. Look, it was 14.5 overnight when I typed this in, but they've actually here Pacers have taken a little bit of money here this morning, or a little bit of adjustment anyway, from bookmakers down to 13 right now. And I don't know, that probably just creates a little bit of value. I was on a show last night, though, and I was like, wow, 11.5 here, huh? Looked up, and the line was actually 13.5, and then it was 14.5. So you're still laying a little bit of tax, and only because the Pacers are straight garbage right now. They're not covering anything at all. They are official. I mean, yeah, I throw the Tankathon around on every situation where it's a playoff team against a non-playoff team, and it doesn't always work out, but it does when you're fading the Pacers right now. Here, they're not coming close here. Of late, I'm watching golf. I was going to talk about the golf. Oh, wait, I'll update the scoreboard. I'll update the scoreboard maybe between. Let's get a few more holes in. Sepp Straka leading right now by a stroke over Lee Hodges and Alex Smalling, Corey Connors, among others. Seth Tagala up there. All right, so here we go. Let's get it going here with the Knicks. The Knicks. They are 13-7, straight up in their last 20. Uh-oh. Shame on me. A little bit of steam here real quick. We'll get to the NBA. But steam here over in the
play.
Okay, let's get to this one here. UCI is getting steamed in their game against CSUN. Cal Irvine taking the steam here right now. They were 4.5. They're up to 5.5. Cal Irvine takes the steam against CSUN here, Cal State Northridge. UC Irvine is the team taking the steam up to 5.5. Big West semifinal just 3 minutes from my house at the Lees Family Forum. South Carolina State and Howard steam to the over in this one. Howard in the tournament setting, often an over team. They are a good cover in South Carolina State, not so much, but the steam is on the over here at 144 up to 145.5 here with South Carolina State and Howard Bison, the Howard Bison. Okay. We're continuing, though, here with the Knicks and the Pacers, right? I'm already in the Tankathon, so you know what that means. So we don't need to preview it too much. I need your picks, though, and maybe I'll give a little information out, but I'm going to be on the Knicks here to keep it rolling right now against this Pacers team that is not showing any reason for competing. They've lost 11 in a row. They've failed to cover the spread, I believe, in 10 in a row. Maybe it is 11 in a row. So can you believe it? I mean, come on, they've lost 11 in a row. They didn't even cover the spread in any of those games, and they're getting points, at 9.5, 11.5, 6.5, 3.5. Doesn't matter. They're not covering. The Knicks are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. They've won 10 of their last 14 on the road. Knicks are just 1-4 against the spread. Last 5 against the Indiana Pacers. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over, including meetings this season. Both meetings have gone over here. The last meeting was 137-134. The Pacers won in New York in overtime, but the Knicks did win in Indiana. They didn't cover in that one, favored by 3.5. So the Pacers have covered them both this year. But we're in the tankathon now, and we'll see how that works out here today. It's 13.5 to 27.5. Karl Anthony Towns is questionable. Josh Hart is questionable. I mean, those are some names you'd like to have in there, but Pascal Siakam, that knee injury, no reason for him to get in there and mix it up other than finishing off what's been a good season for Siakam. But don't force it here. You got nothing to play for really, other than if you want to go up and try to beat the Knicks. But I would probably just say, hey, unless you really feel good, Pascal, I better take this one off. So let's go with the Knicks here. Zubats questionable, Obi Toppin questionable, Nesmith questionable, Nemhard questionable, McConnell questionable, Quentin Jackson questionable. Why wouldn't you be on the Knicks here in this one? Give me the Knicks. Go to the chat here with this one. And here we go. Big Crypto, he likes the New York Knicks. Dimitri says they'll cover. They'll find some G League guys in there a little bit. Greg says the Pacers are desperate for a win. I don't think they are. I think they are trying to lose as many games as possible right now, and as a member in the Tankathon. But yeah, you're right there, Greg. How about the Knicks? I mean, they had to play yesterday against Utah. They did drub them there in the game we had. The Knicks in the Tankathon there as well. But remember, the Pacers played, was it yesterday, right, at home there and against Phoenix, 123. What was that score? Whatever it was, we had the Pacers there yesterday, 123 to 108. Public Enemies on the Knicks. Bars on the Pacers too. You guys like this Pacers team? What's their lineup going to look like here with those guys? I know some of them will play, but it is kind of interesting that they're all listed on the injury report. Practically every player in the top 8 rotation, top 9 rotation there. What kind of lineup are they going to end up putting out there today? I got to look for myself and see. Oh God. Well, they do have I guess Jarris Walker will definitely be in there, but that might be it. He was injured too last week with a sprained ankle here. So everybody is a game time decision. Okay, they haven't covered since February 11th. Robert said it's March 13th. They haven't covered in a month. Robert's on the over here in this one. This has to be a Knicks spot. Barley says take the Knicks. All right, next up. The Grizzlies are taking on the Pistons here in this one in the Tankathon. Now, Memphis has shown a little bit of life there, or did anyway, but again, not since. At least they've covered a few, but they're not winning. They're in the Tankathon. They failed to cover in 3 straight. Before that, they were actually covering some games, and you're like, what are they doing? They're actually trying, but not now. Detroit, meanwhile, for AOD has fixed it up a little bit. Yeah, they beat Brooklyn, they beat Philadelphia, but they covered in both games. So, look, it was a rough stretch for Detroit there. They played some tough teams. Yeah, they lost to Brooklyn, but they played Miami, they played San Antonio and some other tough teams. Hey, Hawaii's getting steamed right now, guys, in their game tonight against Cal State Fullerton. Fullerton is a pretty decent team. I know Hawaii's had a great season. They've even played well on the mainland here, but they're not a great cover, and Fullerton is a very good cover, but Hawaii is taking the steam right now. They open as low as 3.5. This one's getting away. I don't know if I want to lay this right now with Hawaii. Maybe they will blow them out, but right now Hawaii has moved here to a 6-point favorite here, again at the Lee's Family Forum, just a few miles away. Not even, I could almost walk there. There in that one. Okay, Grizzlies and Pistons, so we're talking right now, and I want to hear from you in the chat in this one. Detroit is just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10. They're not a great favorite, 24-29 ATS, but Memphis is 18-26. ATS is an underdog here. Detroit 22-30 to the under as a favorite. Memphis 14-19 to the under on the road. These two teams look like an under situation here. I know, though, even for me, it's a little bit hard. Every game you have to be looking at it with a crooked eye and say, like, can they really go under in a game, especially when there's lack of motivation defensively here for probably both teams, even with the Pistons, just because they're favored by so many points. They got to figure they should be able to take this one down here. So I'll probably just stay in the tankathon, even though I kind of like the total under. It got to be, there's part of me says that it still will go over because of the way that these tankathon games are playing out. So I'm going to take the Detroit Pistons here. In this one, they did win the first meeting already, 114 to 106 as a 3-point favorite way back in November when Memphis probably thought they had a chance. Memphis here has lost 6 straight. Memphis I will say that they are 9-1 in the last 10 games against the Detroit Pistons, and they've covered 5 of the last 6 against them. Maybe that will be. This is a very big number, obviously, and I'll still lay it as part of my tankathon coverage here. Detroit 3-7 ATS in their last 10, despite the fact they've won 13 of their last 19. They're also just 1-4 against the spread at home in their last 5 games overall. And Detroit's gone under in 5 of their last 7 meetings against Memphis, although Memphis has had several overs here of late. They did go under last game to stop a 4-game over streak there against Dallas last night in that loss to Dallas at home. Not a great look for Memphis there. If you got to beat somebody at home, you got to beat a fellow tanker, and they did not get it done. Detroit, meanwhile, had the win over Philadelphia last night, 131 to 109, winning their game in the tankathon. So I'm just going to go to the tankathon here and take Detroit. Let's see what the chat has, though, in this one. And it's going to be good morning to R. Tops in the chat. AOD says the Pistons should smack him around right now. He's feeling a little bit better about himself. AOD. Robert's on the under. Bar is on the under here. I feel like under still in this game, right? The Pistons, look, they do have motivation. There's no doubt about it. Looking at the way the standings are currently sitting, they're trying to hold off the Celtics. The good thing is, the Celtics have lost a couple there, right? And the Pistons have actually extended that lead now to 4.5 games at the top of the Eastern Conference. So Greg says they lost. Now they're traveling. Both played yesterday, so take Detroit in the under. I like it, Greg. You got to like that. Farley's on the under. Here's Blue. Lotto dee dotto die. We've got some steam coming in right now in college basketball. Real quick here. Real quick, some steam coming in here. Wisconsin and Illinois. Steam to the under here. We're going to preview this game. Watch out. Steam to the under at 156.5. We're down to 155 here. Wisconsin and Illinois. We're going to preview that game in just a few minutes. Stick around for the college basketball preview. All right, here we go. And Art Tom's, let me say this about this maybe here, Regina. I am a believer in buying points. Now, look, I know it's not a popular take among people, handicapping people who are supposed to be giving advice on these shows, whatever. I don't have a secret, like some of these guys, have hey, we've got our secret network of gamblers and everything. I do work with some folks, some gamblers, some offshore books and everything. Buying a half a point, yes, it's costly. But when you buy off the half point and make it a whole point, and pay the extra juice. Now, look, if you can go to a book where it's $1.05 and then make it $1.15, some books are that way, especially some of I use some offshore books and some paperheads there. You got to, if you're me. But if buying off that half point, it's almost like buying, because all you're doing is you're taking that half point off and you're putting it on the solid number that you can at least get a push there. So really, when you're buying a half point off, it's really 1.5 points, in my opinion. Yes, you're only going to get a push out of that, but it gets rid of that half point. So I am a believer in buying points, usually just a half a point. Really, sometimes when the line has moved quite a bit, some steam is just too good to pass up, and I'm guilty. I'll buy 2 points, 3 points to kind of bring it back. A lot of people say when you do that, right? I mean, what are you really doing? You're taking out all the true value of it. Well, I look at it this way. I'm on the right side. That's why it's moved that way. So maybe there's a little bit of equitable EV. I don't know. I'm not good enough. I only took the hard math courses because all my friends were smart. I didn't even know what I was doing in there. Blue says Pistons here. Greg says Memphis is awful. Our Tom's on the under. And let's see here. Blue says Illinois probably. Illinois spread went up to 8. And say Blue hates the hook too. Why off the point? I do it all the time. Well, I do it when it's cheap. If it's like minus 110 and then you buy the point and it's $1.25 or something, you know what? It's kind of a little tough. But like I said, I got some books where it's $1.05 offshore. You buy the point, it's $1.15. I mean, I do it all day long. Let me tell you. All right, and JP does it too. JP does it. And the hook won't push, so it can't hurt or help you. It can hurt or help you. That's right, Greg. All right, and let's see. Parlay him up. Don't be scared. And you know what? I'm all about the parlay too, and I'm not a big parlay. I'm not out there parlaying. I'm parlaying like my game with a minus 500 favorite money line. That's the type of parlay that I'm interested. You'll take my regular minus 110 team that I like, and then put in there with a minus $5 team that I like. And here's another thing. I apologize about not mentioning this, but a lot of people have been pointing it out to me, and I have not been doing it. Shame on me, but you should be taking these tankathon teams in moneyline parlays. Even at the minus, even the minus 1,000, just put them all together if your book allows it. The 4, 5, 6 teamers there. If you think it's a tankathon team, if you don't like the game, don't do it. But those are the games you should be doing a little money line parlay. Actually, look at how the discrepancy in the score, right? So consider that as well. With these tankathon, maybe like the Knicks, the Pistons, the Cavaliers today, the Portland Trailblazers, the Clippers. There's a 5-teamer right there. It's not a great payoff, but they're not really losing those games. Yeah, we've got nipped on some of the tankathon on the spread because I'm like, really 15 points. I don't care. I'm on TV here, but. They still win the game. They just they won by 9, they won by 8, whatever. So consider the parlays and round robin them a little bit too. Okay, AUD's shopping for lines, and right, C James. So when you go from $1.10 to $1.25, that's a little bit tougher. Yeah, 120 or worse. I think I know what you're saying. You're on 120 there. So you guys are good for gamblers here. I think I don't know. I think I attract sophisticated gamblers. I might be stroking you guys off, and they're saying that, but I do believe that my approach here and my information. Look, if I was coming to you from a faraway island doing this show, nobody'd probably watch. Okay. Here, thank you. You guys, great conversation on this, okay, today. Parlays are a book's best friend. Nuke, one of those sophisticated moves that professional gamblers are doing is, you're right. Taking 2 minus 110 teams, 3 minus 110 teams, not a great idea. Gamble up. Hey, I do it too, right? But parlays here, when you're, like I said, the kind of parlays that I'm suggesting, or putting in your favorite $5 money line favorite in there, that's the kind of parlays that the pros are doing, because what books are finding is, or pro gamblers are finding, and I'm in very interesting, in the juice reel, you can kind of talk, communicate with high level professionals, and it's what they call it is account health. You might be a winning player, but if the book sees you putting in some parlays, win or lose, they call it account health, and it kind of helps your, I don't know if there's an algorithm determines, when people get banned or something like that. Here's the funny thing, right? pro bettors, they have to lose. They have to lose some money back. They have to give a little back here, or that's when you get banned or whatever, right? Okay, I think we've covered enough of this one, you guys. Oh man, you guys are great. Suns and Raptors here. We're not in the tankathon here. In fact, if anything, we got two teams who are kind of in a they're going to the playoffs, but these two teams want to keep winning. We've already talked about the Raptors. They're kind of on a tumble here right now. They're not going to fall out of the playoffs. They might fall into they're in the play-in. Remember, they were not in the play-in here just last week, and they were just hanging on. Here come the Heat. Here come the Magic. Here come the Hawks. Look out. Raptors need to win some games. They can't win at home, and now all of a sudden they're in 7th place, and they're in the play-in. The good thing about 7th place in the play-in is almost 90%, I believe, since they've started the play-in. The percentage of teams that advance into the field is actually exactly relative to their seeding. The play-in tournament is almost a misnomer. The 7th place team makes it almost every time. The 8th team makes it in almost just a fraction of the time. The 9th place team has just made it in a couple times. I don't think the 10th place team has ever made it, unless they did was it last year? Maybe one 10th place team has made it, maybe not. If anybody can research that with me here, chat GPT, and let me know if I'm right. But I'm sure it's a very high percentage for 7th place, a low percentage for 8th place, a minuscule percentage for 9th place, and a 0% for 10th place when it comes to the play-in. So the Raptors are in 7th place here right now, and for the Suns, they are in 7th place as well. So you have the two 7th place teams here, but the Suns are going to come in 7th place or higher, but they're not going to fall behind the Warriors. There's too many games between them. The Suns are actually 5.5 games ahead of the Clippers. I say the Warriors. Clippers are in 8th now. There. So look, the Suns have been, when they're back to winning. I've been on these Suns, man. Why are people getting off these Suns? Now the Raptors, we know for whatever reason they played better on the road here for some reason. The Suns are 20-11 against the spread on the road. Raptors are 14-19 against the spread at home. They've done a better job on the road, actually. We always say, oh, it's tough to go to Toronto, but that hasn't necessarily been the case this year. The Suns have won 4 straight, covered 3 in a row. Toronto with back-to-back losses to Houston and New Orleans here. Not great news, not great timing here for the Toronto Raptors. Raptors have lost 4 of 5, failed to cover in 5 of 6. Phoenix 4-1 ATS last 5 on the road. They've won 6 of 7 and covered 5 of those. Phoenix is just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games against Toronto. 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two. They only meet twice a year, but they've gone under. Toronto's gone under in 5 straight here right now. Toronto 12-25 to the under as a favorite here. Phoenix is 28-37 to the under overall, although as a road dog they do go over a little bit more there. For Phoenix here, Grayson Allen is questionable tonight in this game. Let me make sure I peek at the injury report here in this one. Scotty Barnes is questionable here for Toronto. Mark Williams out still here for Phoenix. So let me hear from you in the chat here. I know we got a long way, and I'm talking fast here, But with this, man, probably I'll just take the under here for now. Give me the under in this one with Phoenix and Toronto here today. I will take the under here in this one. Okay, Colin Murray Boyle's also questionable for Toronto. Let's go to the chat. All right. Mavericks on the spread. I think we got that there. Blue. I don't know what's going on. Raptors here for Robert. R. Thompson's on the Raptors. JP Farley's on the under. Raptors first quarter here for AOD. And let's move it on here right now. Next up, Cavaliers and Mavericks. We are in the tankathon here with the Cavaliers on the road. They're laying 13 here right now. 13 and a half, 236 and a half here with the Cavaliers in the Tankathon, taking on the Mavericks. But the Mavericks they're coming in off that win over Toronto on the road. That probably makes them more likely to get blown out here by Cleveland. Cleveland has to feel like if they can take advantage of teams that they can beat, it might be a good idea to win some games here once in a while. Cleveland has lost 2 of their last 3 games overall coming into this one. Klay Thompson, he is questionable here tonight versus Cleveland. For Cleveland, Proctor and Jarrett Allen are out of tonight's game here for Cleveland, but they are in the Tankathon here. And this total is pretty high for these 2 teams anyway. The Steam came in on the over here, and it's driven it up. It opened as low as 231, and we're up to 230, 236 and a half here. All right, well, let's see. Cleveland's been a terrible cover. We know that, but probably willing to take them here in the Tankathon, despite the fact they're 18-34 against the spread as a favorite. Dallas is a 500 proposition as an underdog this season against the number. Dallas is 19-26 to the under as an underdog. They're also under in 8 of their last 10 games overall coming in this one. In fact, Dallas has gone under in 8 straight games here against Cleveland. Cleveland's gone under in 4 of their last 5. So, yeah, it's going over. You think here. We've talked about how, right, you got Cooper Flag and, should have great offense. Dallas is 27-39 to the under. So, I don't know. Like I said, now Cleveland has Harden, in the line. Remember, Harden is a human rain delay in there. So I'll probably get back to some of those old Cleveland numbers now. I'll take Cleveland in the Tankathon here, but I think I've got a premium with this one on the total. So give me the Cavs here. I'll lay the 13 now. We can only keep laying the points here with the Tankathon teams. Here we go. With anybody got anything on this game besides Blue telling us a story in there? You can type in. I think the characters go to 140. Okay, here we go. Blue was on the Raptors in that other game. He under here in one of the games anyway. Cavs team total under for Blue. Jordy says Cavs money line, and Jordy always does his little same game parlay. That always works too. I love Jordy's little same game parlay, taking a big money line with his favorite prop in there. That's how you do it. I think that's one way to do it, but I think it's a good way to do it. Under for Big Crypto. Robert likes the Cavs. Our Toms likes Cavs. Farley likes the Cavs. Trev does like the over, though. Look, the Steam came in on the over. That means it's going to be a pretty sharp, I believe, a sharp play there, but I just don't think I could do it. I think now, like I said, the Clippers were an under team when James Harden was on the team. He's not on the team anymore. The Clippers have turned into an over team overnight, it seems like. Cavaliers, not quite enough sample here with Harden, maybe because of some of these games, but they did go under they were going under in consecutive games with Harden until that game against Orlando that did go over there the other night. But other than that, they've been going under here big time. 7 of their last 10 have gone, what did I say it was? 4 of their last 5 have gone under. 4 straight and then over there. Okay, I think that's it for that one. We got to keep it moving because I want to get to college basketball, don't you? Pelicans and Rockets here in this one in the Tankathon, except a funny thing happened on the way to the Tankathon. The New Orleans Pelicans said, hey, we've had a bad season. We might want to show up and play a little bit. That's how Zion operates, right? He comes to play when the season's over, and he can, keep his numbers going here. But right now, give the Pelicans a little bit of credit anyway. They've been doing a pretty nice job here, covering some numbers of late. They've won 2 in a row, but You're really going to trust them here in a tankathon game? They've covered 4 straight, have the New Orleans Pelicans, but I would question the number that they're getting here all of a sudden, right? What is the story here? Are really the Cavaliers, the Pelicans really playing well enough here? This total, by the way, is another one that has gone way up, and I see it. I was on a show last night saying go over 226. This thing's 230 right now. Let me update that. But so look, the Rockets, we know they're a very good team. They may not be the best cover in the world. They're 24-33 as a favorite. New Orleans is actually 37-29 against the spread. Although they're only 27-26 ATS as a dog, they're actually a better the home favorite when they've been a home favorite. Although albeit just maybe 10 times or so. But what makes it so the Rockets, especially in the tankathon games when the spreads are usually 10, 11, 12, is this a game where we really think the Pelicans, look, they've been fortunate in some of their spots and some of these wins. They beat Toronto, they beat Washington, they beat Sacramento. Houston's still a top-tier team. In fact, they've got to be a little bit hungry right now. They lost to Denver, lost to San Antonio. They beat Portland, they beat Toronto, but it's not like they're getting their quota of victories that I'm sure that they would like to have right now, given the circumstances and the playoff situation here currently. The Rockets are in 4th place, but they're tied here with the Nuggets right now. And again, I say 4th place is the most important place. You want to have the home field advantage in that first game if you're not above them. You know what I mean? So I think the Rockets look pretty juicy here, actually, but I'm going to go to the total over here because I think I got to use the Rockets as a premium. Now, Houston is just 10-20 to the over at home, to the under, 10-20 to the under at home. They are a hardcore under here right now, but the steam's coming on the over. It's up to 230. I don't know if I'll double down a little bit, it feels like here. Give me the over in this one with the Pelicans and the Rockets in the tankathon, but I think I'm getting a cheap price on the tankathon, and I'm going to be using the Rockets here somewhere. It may even be a super premium today. Let's go to the chat and see what you have to say in this one with the Pelicans taking on the Rockets here. Blues on the Pelicans here. And let's see, Nine Legacy took the Pacers on the spread. He took the Knicks on the spread, took the Rockets on the spread. And fly, Pelican, fly. Up to the sky. Pelicans here. And Jordy says Rockets money line. And Thompson to get his props. Roberts on the over and Farley's on the Rockets. Fly, Pelicans, fly. Okay, next up. Timberwolves and the Warriors. It's not a tankathon game. It's an important game as the Warriors continue to slide here right now with their injuries here. We got the news. Seth Curry, another 10 days. Look, the Warriors are going to make the playoffs. Steph Curry might just want to, make sure he's okay. What can the Warriors really do when it comes to the postseason this year anyways? Like I said, if you come in 9th place or 10th place, and that's where they're going to come in. The Warriors are not going to fall 9 games to the Grizzlies here in the next 16 games or so, or how many ever we have left now. So the Warriors are in the playoffs. They're going to be in the play-in, actually, and they're going to be in that, probably in that 9-10. Now, it would be good if they could get some wins at least to the 8th spot and give them a chance, but Steph Curry is going to miss another 5 games here at least with a 10-day absence. Not great news here towards the end of the season, and what's been a disappointing season here for the Golden State Warriors, 1 game below 500. Timberwolves come in a little bit hungry here with 3 straight losses. I don't think anybody's saying that they're because they were just the hottest team in one of the hot teams in the league there prior to that. Still, they're a crummy cover. 13-9 against the spread on the road, 20-33 against the spread as a favorite, but Golden State's not a good cover either, just 29-36. Although home dog, probably not great. Minnesota, those failed 3 straight games to Orlando, the Lakers, and the Clippers here. They're playing their 3rd straight road game here in California. The Warriors have lost 3 straight to OKC, Utah, and Chicago, failing to cover in the last 2 games. They did cover against OKC, getting 12 here, but this is not a tankathon game here, and I think that the Warriors still might have a chance here in this one to kind of hang here with the Timberwolves, even with this lineup here tonight, because it doesn't feel like the Wolves are having much urgency, even though they should in sixth place right now. They are favored. They only need to win, but they could fall into the playoff here if they don't win some games here. Talk about the Timberwolves. They're in sixth place, one game ahead of the Phoenix Suns. So let's go to the chat here and see what you have to say in this one. The Sharps are going to be clearly on the under here, but I feel like maybe this one is more possibly of an over here. You got Golden State 21-12 to the over at home, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are, despite the fact that they're 31-35 to the under, they're 20-12 to the over on the road. So I kind of like this one to go over here with Minnesota and Golden State tonight. What do you guys think in the chat here with this one? Minnesota taking on Golden State here. Line is probably up to 6 right now, but the total, I have the wrong total up there, you guys. Sorry, I just noticed it. Definitely just a typo. It is 224. That is definitely lower here right now, and the pressure is coming in on the pressure is on the under here from the Sharps. I don't think it's a very public-y, if you know what I mean. I'm going to take the over in this one right now at 224 between Minnesota and Golden State. It's definitely the sharp move is on the under here, and usually I'm all about it, but I'm going to take the over in this one. Oh, let me put the graphic back up there. There we go. And let's see what we got in the chat here. It's going to be how's Ant-Man feeling? What's the injury status in this game for these two teams, right? Well, we just talked about Curry here. Minnesota's got a relatively clean injury report. Only Dosunmu is questionable with a thumb injury. For the Warriors, Post is questionable. Melton's questionable. Moody is out of this one. Seth Curry's probable. Minnesota here for Greg. Jordy says Minnesota money line with Ant to get his prop points over. Our bars on the Wolves, Farley's on the Warriors, Blues on the over, and our Tomps on the T-Wolves. Dimitri says Minnesota all day there. And that is a big difference, Greg. You are right. That thing has dropped here. Big. That's look, I respect the move, Greg, right? Down from 228 to 224. I'm usually all about that. But again, teams have something to play for. Minnesota 20-12 over on the road. Golden State 21-12 over at home. I will say, though, that both meetings so far, or the last two meetings in Minnesota went under. The game here in Golden State back in December, though, was an over 127 to 120. Minnesota won that one as a 4.5-point dog. Golden State did win in January in Minnesota, 111 to 85. They blew them out. Okay, let's see what we got here right now with Greg with his pick. All right, let's move on. We're almost done here. Jazz and Trailblazers in this one, kind of in the tankathon here a little bit, but no, the Jazz have shown a little bit of life here possibly, but still, Portland favored nearby, 14.5. And the total here is 236.5. For Portland, they've been alternating wins and losses. The Jazz have been alternating wins and losses. Portland coming in off of a loss to Charlotte. They did cover, though, in that one. They've covered 2 straight. Utah, meanwhile, coming in off of a loss to the Knickerbockers, 134 to 117 in the tankathon. For the Trailblazers here, pretty big number. You'd think they could probably get this one. I might just go over, though. I think here might be a little bit easier here. For whatever reason, Utah does show a little bit of life. I have a feeling they might get blown out, though. Portland, like we said, they're kind of in position here right now in that tankathon standings here currently, that they got to kind of get going here to get out of last place. They can pass the Warriors. I don't know if they can catch the Clippers, but like I said, 9-10 is pretty much a death sentence in that play-in tournament. You need to be at least in eighth place. So give me the over. I'm going to go over in this one. Portland is 20-7 to the over as a favorite. Utah, despite the fact that they're 14-17 to the under on the road, is 34-24 to the over as an underdog. Portland's 21-12 to the over as at home. So I'm going to go over here with Utah taking on Portland here tonight. Portland is over in 12 of their last 17 games coming in, and 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams, semi-familiar opponents here, have gone over. For Utah, Konkar out, Keontae George out, Markkanen out right now. For Portland, they're pretty clear on the short-term injuries right now. So give me the over in this one between Utah and Portland. All right, Robert is going over here in this one. Blue, we need to win this one to get him a new apparatus there. Remember when the guy got drafted from Miami? What was his name? He's still in the league. He's actually an all-pro offensive lineman, but he was on the. They cut to him, right? Remember they cut to. Did they cut to him there, or was it on a it was so long ago. What's his name, you guys? And he had the mask. He had the bong mask on after he got drafted. I'm trying to think of his name. He's turned out to be. He probably wouldn't. He'd probably be even better if he wasn't a pothead, I guess. But he's been on a couple teams now. I know that. Let's see, a beat down here. Blue's coming up. Blue's birthday here is going to be 37. He's making me get old right away. Jazz for Blue here right now. And Greg says Friday night, you're going to be taking him out to the woodshed here. Let's go one more game here. Then we're going to got to get to that college basketball. All right. What's his name, you guys? Turley. No, not Turley. All right, the Bulls here and the Clippers. I forgot it. Too much. Clippers here, this game in the tankathon, and the Clippers are up to 13.5 here. It opened 11.5, so you got a big old tankathon tax. Total here, 235 in this one. Clippers have won 3 in a row. Looking good here, man. Garland, this is a perfect fit. The Clippers have got to get out of this bottom pairings here right now. They're in 8th place. That's fine. They're not going to get any higher than that. That's right. They're really stuck here right now. They've got to at least stay ahead of the Warriors and the Trailblazers to have a chance. I don't think they can catch the Suns as hot as they've been, but they are looking good. Garland, this makes all the difference in the world over the beard for sure right now. The Clippers are dangerous, but they might just be up against it in the play-in. They could win the play-in. They can beat the Suns probably and then get in. But for the Clippers here, they've won 3 straight, covered 2 in a row, beat Minnesota, the Knicks, and Memphis. They're 8-2 against the spread in their last 10, 36-29 against the spread overall. Chicago just 13-19 against the spread on the road, despite the fact they're 23-18 against the spread as a dog. Chicago comes in off of a loss to the Lakers last night. We were on the Lakers here in the tankathon. Will Chicago just show up tonight? They lost by 12. They were getting 11. The Lakers got the money. We were on the Lakers there in the game on the morning steam yesterday, and I'm taking the Clippers again here today to do it, especially the fact that they played last night. Talked about the Chicago Bulls. The Clippers are rested here. They've been covering like nobody's winning and covering like nobody's business here for the Clippers. They've won 6 out of their last 7. They've covered 7 of their last 8. Bulls are just 5-12 against the spread their last 17. They've dropped 14 of their last 17 games overall. I got to take the Clippers here. The steam came in on the Clippers too, and I'll just take them here in the tankathon and hope they get there. And let's see what you have in the chat. Clippers have won 14 of the last 19 meetings over the Bulls. That's about a 10-year sample size. All right, let's see here. Jordy says Sensabaugh over on his points. And no, it wasn't Ricky Williams, Blue. It was not Ken Risma. No, it was not Greg Oden. It was a football player, offensive lineman, you guys, from the Dolphins. A very famous incident where he was caught on camera, with a mask bong on his face. A very famous incident, and shame on me. Laramie Tunsil. See, I had to look it up there. Let me see if do we have the old video of Laramie? Can we look at that real quick? Do you guys never have seen that? I mean, I guess it was kind of a long time ago with Laramie. Okay, we got it here. I'm going to have to go to my Google page, so hopefully there's nothing naughty on here. But let me take a look. Nobody remembers when Laramie Tunsil they cut to him. They said, Laramie Tunsil just got drafted. Let's cut to his home here. You know how they always go to the family and they say, let's look at, hey, say hello to, there he is. Oh gosh, can you guys see it? I got like 10 pictures of it up there. Laramie Tunsil. Now, look, I mean, he's got the. Come on, you guys. You got to be a fan of this guy, right? You ever knew this? There, Laramie Tunsil, first round draft choice. Let's cut to Laramie. Oh, hey. All right, bye, Laramie. Bye, Laramie. He's still playing in the league. He's an all-pro. I think he's a strong all-pro player here for the most part. All right. Oh, man, I'm totally having trouble here with the I might need some help from Mikey Money to figure out what I'm doing wrong on my putting me up on the screen here. I seem to be struggling to find the right there we go. All right, here we go. You guys are loving that. Okay, we got to go back here with, hey, Steve Leptarian is here as well. Blues on the over. There's the Clippers. We're going to get to the college here. Steve's on the over. Clippers with Kawhi to get his points. He just had 45 points. Look, Kawhi wouldn't be the one to do it. Here's what I'm going to say, though, right now. And let's see if I'm right. Prediction time. We just saw Bam Adebayo score 83 points. Incredible performance. Also, want to add this real quick. Anybody see the video yesterday? Or maybe it was even out there. I just saw it yesterday. I mean, you know me. I mean, I don't miss a thing. But maybe I missed it after one day. But I think it did something that reemerged, or they went back and looked at it. You look back at about 2:45 left in the game. Bam Adebayo is saying, do not foul. He doesn't. Not saying he doesn't want to score 80, but he's telling his teammates, let's not show this team up. Let's get out of here. We won. Give him credit. A lot of people are criticizing Bam and how it went down. He was clearly saying, do not foul. He was ready to wrap up the game. You know, they took him out of the game with 1:15 left. He still went to the free throw line, still made a field goal there late. He was actually saying, do not foul. Let's get over. So give some credit, a little bit of credit to Bam Adebayo. He was kind of, in denial, or let's not do this. I'm a great game already here. Maybe it was also before he passed Kobe Bryant. He loved Kobe Bryant. Everybody loved Kobe, but I think he felt that. I really feel deep in we'll see maybe there's some comments about it. I missed it. But maybe he did not want to pass Kobe in such fashion. Maybe he actually did feel that, even though he's getting a lot of criticism right now. I think history will stand that we appreciate Bam and that record, as awkward as it might have been for him. Some steam just came in a second ago on George Washington and St. Louis. This is the game we're about to preview, so I'll let it go, but I just want to mention it right now because I believe that might be our play. Well, we'll see when we get there. Was 160. It's down to 159.5. Steam to the under. George Washington and St. Louis. That game starts in about 35 minutes from right now. Roberts on the under here. JP Farley Clippers. R. Thompson Clippers. Let's see here. Clippers ain't playing no games from here on out. And JP Farley remembers the bong. Greg, it wasn't 1944. It was... I think it was about 10 years ago. The Tunsil's been, I think he's with Houston right now. He's still in the league. He's a top lineman. I won't say ironically, I think he's like the most penalized offensive lineman in league history. He's good, but maybe he's a little too stoned out there. I don't know. Yeah, he is pretty good, JP, no doubt about it. Robert had one of those in college. The whole mask, right? I mean, okay. That's it for the NBA. Let's get to our college games right now. We got to get going here. I think I've got 9 games on tap for us. There's only 2 in the NHL. It's not going to take long. Let's get started. We just talked about our first game here. It just took some steam moments ago. I'm looking at this game, a 10 quarterfinal with George Washington and St. Louis. There is news here, obviously. You see the steam coming in on the under here. In fact, it's down to 159 here. Got to respect the steam, I think, in this one. Let's see. So I believe for St. Louis here, the big man is in the game here, right? He was injured there for a couple of games here down the stretch, but St. Louis's star player, Robbie Avila, I believe he's in the game here, not on the injured report here right now. George Washington has a couple of guys on the injury report, but I don't see Robbie Avila, the great star. You know who he is, right? You guys know Avila, they call him Cream. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wore the goggles. Robbie Avila wears the goggles, and they have a nickname for him, White Cream, or what was it, Cream? Not Kareem, but Cream, because he's the white guy in there, and pretty good big man, averages 12.5 points a game. Now, St. Louis is they've always been a kind of take you down type of team totals wise, and the steam has come in on the under here. I believe that's the only way to go with the total in this game, so I might just make it my play here right now. You could make an argument that St. Louis is the far better cover here than G-Dub. There are 6-12 as a favorite. G-Dub here just 3-7 ATS there for G-Dub. They did play yesterday. They beat Fordham 66-62. They did not cover. St. Louis, meanwhile, does have the bye here into the quarterfinals here in this one. So, look, St. Louis got a pretty good team here. George Washington, they've made waves before getting to the postseason, but again, St. Louis on the bye here. They're lying in wait for George Washington, who did not cover yesterday, and St. Louis does feel a little bit like a team of destiny with Avila. He deserves to be in the NCAA tournament. St. Louis's team, remember, he's a little bit well traveled, actually. If you are familiar with Mr. Avila, here, the big 6'10 center. He used to play for Indiana State. Remember when he's been in the tournament with Indiana State before? This is his second season with St. Louis, and a pretty good darn player, although they've got Amari McCautry as well there. He's their go-to guy there on St. Louis. Now, St. Louis was having a dynamite season here. They're 27-4, but they have lost 3 of their last 6 games, including the season finale to George Mason. They also lost to Rhode Island and Dayton. They were at 1.12-0 in league play. They are the number 1 seed here. I think they can handle George Washington here, the number 9 seed, but I'm going to take the under here in this one as my play here on the show. There's a good argument that could be made. Like I said, St. Louis here. This one is a little bit tricky. St. Louis has played in the NCAA tournament several times, but they also play in other tournament settings. And again, they've been an under team. I will say this: they're kind of, they've definitely picked up their scoring a little bit this season, but they're still 13-15 to the under as a favorite. St. Louis has had 46 of their last 49 games at neutral site venues have been under 161 points. Now, this was 159 because it's moved, but let me repeat that. 46 of St. Louis's last 49 games at neutral venues. Now, that sample size is
Critical notice.
I believe about almost 20 years old, but it's 46-3. I don't, say what you want. St. Louis has a much more adept offense right now, but they're not killer overs, that's for sure. And GW has been an under team as well. So I got to take the under here in this one with GW and St. Louis. I was talking about how the early games have been having a little bit of a tendency to go over here right now, but you know what? St. Louis, they really do know how to break you down a little bit. We'll see. I'll go under here in this one. Let's get your plays. We're ready to roll here in college basketball. St. Louis for our tops. The Billikens, GW for Leptirian. The Revolutionaries. They're not the Colonels anymore, you guys. They're the Revolutionaries. Okay? The Colonels are out. The Colonels should be back in with the Trump. We should be back to the Colonels. Oh, is it 7.5? Oh, let me fix that. Sorry about that. Let me fix that there, Greg. No doubt about it. I'm showing a lot of 7s out there a little bit, but it's certainly above 6.5, I think. Okay. Let's see. St. Louis in the under for Greg. Robert's on St. Louis there. And Greg says St. Louis in the under. GW is better at home than on a neutral. Nuke does like St. Louis. Nuke, yeah, I think they're built for this, right? I think Avila, he almost gets, almost like a cult type of guy, but he's a very good player, and he does, he's March. He's kind of a March player. He needs to be in this tournament. St. Louis needs to win. St. Louis does need to win this tournament, I believe. Let me see if I can just peek at the bracketology here. Remember, a lot of these teams are in nowhere land if you don't get the automatic bid, and you got to worry about it here. I think St. Louis probably can get in without. You guys let me know maybe on that one. And look at this. Greg says George Washington here scores 90 usually. They just scored the other night, last night, 66 points against Fordham. But, yeah, they scored 90 against St. Bonaventure, 104 against LaSalle. But this is St. Louis. Hi, Kelly. Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly. All right. Okay, keep it moving here. My next game is we got Conference USA semifinal here with Missouri State taking on Louisiana Tech in this one. Missouri State on the this one's in Huntsville, Alabama. You got to question what Conference USA is doing. They'll take anybody in their Conference USA. Missouri State, kind of a newcomer here, but hey, going to make the conference bigger. Here, Missouri State, they'll gladly come aboard. They're the number 9 seed here, but they've won 2 tournament games in a row here over FIU and Liberty. Liberty, man, how'd they lose that game here? And give Missouri State credit. They're 7-5-1 against the spread as an underdog. Louisiana Tech is 16-12 against the spread overall. They've won and covered 3 straight, including 1 tournament game here over Middle Tennessee. Now look at this. Okay, you explain this to me. Louisiana Tech is coming in here. They are the number 4 seed. They played yesterday. Okay, that's fine. They're favored here by, 1.5. They played yesterday. They're the number 4 seed. They got the win. It's a pick 'em right now. Let me fix that. And the total is down to 134.5. Okay, Louisiana Tech played yesterday. Good job. They advance here to take on Missouri State. Missouri State's won 2 games in a row. They had the day off yesterday. They are the number 9 seed, right? So the number 4 seed's playing back-to-back. The number 9 seed has a day off. Watch out, Louisiana Tech in this one. Let me know what you have here. Maybe this one looks like a little bit of an over. You have Missouri State here. They are 18-12 to the over this season. Louisiana Tech's been a little bit of an over as well. The 2 teams played twice this year. It went over both times, 72-70 in favor of Louisiana Tech at home. And then Louisiana Tech did win at Missouri State, 79-78 is a 4.5-point dog. So it could be a double revenge here for Missouri State. Missouri State, I don't know. I think they look pretty good here. I think, though, it's reflected in the line. You would like to think you could get some points out of this. Could be argued that Missouri State is the sharper side, and that's why it's only a pick 'em. Because, like I said, this is a number 4 against a number 9 here in this semifinal. The other semifinal, Kennesaw and Sam Houston after. This one's at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific time with these two. Louisiana Tech, 16-12 against the spread. Overall here, they've won 4 of their last 5, covered 5 of their last 7. Missouri State just 3-8 in their last 11 games, but 6-1 against the spread. But guess what? They're not getting any points. Real quick, I just want to mention I may have made an error in the NBA coverage. I'm looking at the tweet deck over here right now. Garland is out tonight for the Clippers, by the way. I was talking him up there, how good he's been, and he's out tonight, but still a great addition. It's not a big injury. I think he's out for a rest here, or a little bit of an injury. Okay, so do you think here, what do you think? I mean, let me know in the chat right now on this one between Missouri State. It feels like that feels like they're the better team, you guys, as a 9 seed over this Louisiana Tech team right now. I'm going to let the chat decide what they want here, and maybe I'll pivot to the side or total. You guys will probably go to the side anyways, but let's go with the chat. Here we go. Kelly is here. Kelly has was that a new picture, Kelly, on your social media there? Was that a new picture? Or was I just not paying attention? Louisiana Tech here, 4 bar, Blues on the under. And Kripke says crazy line move. Is it crazy, Kripke, or is it supposed to be taking Missouri State here? I'm going to take Missouri State. I'm taking Missouri State here. You can't talk me off of it. I talked myself into it here. I was going to go, like I said, if it was enough opinion, I was going to take the total, but I'm taking Missouri State here. Steve's on the under, though. Robert's on Missouri State. Kelly says 1 and 2 point games earlier in those other 2 meetings. Yep. But you know what? Double revenge maybe here a little bit. Moneyline Missouri State for Greg. And Kelly says, why not just bet it live? Kripke says it took Louisiana Tech, and now they're. You're right, Greg. You're right. He is injury prone, but he's looked great when he's been in there. So hopefully he'll be okay. All right. Thanks, sure. Okay, I noticed that. Maybe I was looking at the social media there. All right. Next up, we're going to go out to the SWAC here with this one with Prairie View and Alabama A&M. This is a semifinal in Atlanta, Georgia at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific time. We're covering them all here. We're covering early games, so I'm going to cover this one as well. You guys love the early games. I love the early games. So
Final.
For Prairie View here in this one, they come in 16-17. Alabama A&M 18-14 right now. Prairie View's hot. Alabama, I'm going to give them the big FU for beating Texas Southern yesterday in overtime, but they did get it done. But Prairie View here, the 8th seed, they're the team on a winning streak. They're red hot right now, Prairie View A&M here. Don't confuse them with the Mississippi Valley, okay? We got some steam here real quick. It's on Howard U. I think we're previewing this game. Howard U taking the steam right now against South Carolina State. We already talked about the steam that came in on the over. Howard was a 15-point favorite. They're up to 16 or 16.5 here right now. Steam on Howard in the MEAC semifinals. We'll cover in just a moment. So Prairie View here, gang, is on fire. There's no doubt about it. They've come in winning and covering pretty much everything here over the last. They've won 5 straight, covered 8 straight here right now. They've gone under in 5 straight overall. They're just 2-4 in their last 6 games against Alabama A&M against the spread. Alabama A&M's won 6 of their last 9. Did beat Texas Southern yesterday. Like I said, really thought Texas Southern had a big lead in that game too. Led it and then kind of gave it up there in the second half. Like I said, Alabama A&M had lost 25 straight games to Texas Southern. So it shows you the improvement that they've had this year as well. But it does feel like Prairie View here. You got, basically one of the best players in the league in Horn there on this team, and they're hot. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Alabama and A&M's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games coming into this one. But I got to take Prairie View A&M to keep it going here right now. It feels like they're hot. Alabama A&M is the 5 seed. Prairie View is the 8 seed. Maybe Prairie View waited too long to get hot here, but look, they've had a run of wins and covers over Cookman, over Alcorn, over Texas Southern, over Jackson State here. These two teams did meet twice just once this season, and it was Alabama A&M getting the win at Prairie View 80-60, but it was in January before. Prairie View's gotten on a roll here right now. So let's see what you got. Prairie View, huh? All right, let's see here. Greg says, what team won the trade? I think the Clippers. Greg, won the trade for sure. Bar here, Prairie View, Kripke, Prairie View, Greg on Prairie View, Robert's on Prairie View, everybody's on Prairie View, I'm on Prairie View. Next up. All right, we got to take a look at least one game from the Big Ten here, early games, right? And they're in the quarterfinals in the Big Ten, so but we got a good one here that I want to take a look at with Wisconsin taking on Illinois. The Steam did come in on the under in this game. It's down to 156 here. It looks like maybe it's 156.5. Illinois is about an 8 or 8.5 point favorite. Illinois ranked 9th in the country. They're the number 4 seed. Wisconsin, they're a ranked team too. I think they're 23rd or so, but it's Wisconsin, the 5 seed that's won 4 straight games here right now coming into this one. Wisconsin with wins over Washington, Maryland, Purdue, and Washington again. They just beat Washington yesterday, 85-82. I was on Washington in that game plus the points. They did get it done. I don't think it was a show pick here, but I think I bet them. Yeah, I just bet them, but we didn't really preview that one here. But anyways, for Washington, pretty good run here late in the season. For Wisconsin here, pretty good run late in the season with the 4 straight wins. Illinois, meanwhile, we know they've been kind of going the wrong direction a little bit. Yes, they do have consecutive wins over Oregon and Maryland. They got the bye here into the quarterfinal round. Wisconsin had to play yesterday. Wisconsin's gone 5-1 straight up in their last 6, 8-3 against the spread in their last 11. Illinois has won 16 of 14, but lost to UCLA and Michigan before beating Oregon and Maryland here. They failed to cover in 3 of their last 4. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over, but the Steam came in on the under here, and we're in tournament time, right? So when it comes to tournament time, that's usually when Wisconsin kind of goes into Wisconsin mode. It feels like Wisconsin here, when they're playing highly ranked teams in the tournament setting and the neutral court setting, they bog it down. They want to get back to what Wisconsin does best, and that's goes slow, I think. Now, don't look at the trends, because Wisconsin's an over team this season, 20-12 to the over overall, 6-3 to the over as a dog. Illinois is 13-18 to the under here, but the Steam came in on the under, and I'm going to go with the under in this one at 156. Maybe we will get something resembling more of what we've seen. Like I said, Wisconsin's had a lot of overs this season. They're kind of doing the over thing. These two teams did go over in their only meeting back in February. It was 92-90 in favor of Wisconsin on the road. They were getting 9.5 in that one, but neutral venue here in Chicago. I'm going to go ahead and take the under here, and you know what? I might be a little bit contrarian here. Let's see what we got from the chat here in this one. Hey, Bar's with me, though, on the under. Steve likes Wisconsin. Greg says a tricky game. Robert's on the Badgers here. Blue says I might be talking too fast, but there's so many games we got to get over with here. We got to get to the bottom of the hour here. We've already previewed that game, but Fouls will make it go over, says Greg. And Blue says under it is. All right. Next up, let's go to, we got to stop by the SEC for another quarterfinal here anyway with, as promised, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. You know, the Florida game was kind of a 11-point spread there, and we'll see. I can't wait to see Kentucky and Florida, even though it's an 11-point spread. But let's look at this one. It's closely rated. Wow, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Look, the game's in Nashville. Well, Vanderbilt's going to have the home court advantage. Wrong. Don't worry, it will be a sea of orange. There'll be Vanderbilt fans. Yes, there'll be lots of. Is Blake here in the chat for this one here? Because look, it's going to be. It's a Tennessee home game. It's a Vanderbilt game. It's a Tennessee home game. I don't know. Let's see what you got, though. In this one, the Steam did come in on the under. Let me take a look at the current line with Tennessee and Vandy here. It's now a pick 'em, and 146.5. Let me see here. 146.5, and the spread is a pick 'em here for the most part. Maybe 1.5 for Vandy, but it feels like it has moved here a little bit right now. And there we go. So let's see what you think, though, here in this one. Like I said, the Steam did come in on the under. Now, Vandy does have kind of a bit of a tendency. Now, look, they're not a team that's made the postseason very frequently. Uh-oh. It's at 8:30. Time to go to that other game here. Let me cover this a little bit here with some of the tournament history anyway, of these games here, I think, with Vandy, and see if we can pin it down a little bit. But you're welcome to start commenting here right now. For Vanderbilt here, let me see. They're going over quite a bit, right? Call this game up, you guys. Sorry about that. 22nd ranked Vandy and 25th ranked Tennessee, I believe. Tennessee comes in 22-10. Vandy 24-7. Vandy winners of 2 straight here right now over Ole Miss and Tennessee. Vandy got the bye into this one. Tennessee had to beat Auburn yesterday, 72-62 by Auburn. Probably not going to make it now. Some steam just came in on the other Conference USA game we talked about. Steam to the under with Kennesaw and Sam Houston. Steam just came in at 162. It's down to 160.5 here with Kennesaw and Sam Houston. Steam to the under there in that one. All right, so Tennessee and Vanderbilt, though, however, you do have Vanderbilt 10-12 to the under as a favorite. Tennessee's been going under quite a bit here, actually, of late.
Critical notice.
Tennessee's gone under in 5 of their last 6 overall. Vanderbilt's gone over in 5 of their last 6. Vanderbilt's 8-4, straight up in their last 12, 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Vandy here, and a pick 'em right now against Tennessee. These two teams did meet twice this season at Tennessee. Vandy won 86-82 at Vandy. Tennessee won 69-65. Notice that score. You had 1 over and 1 under here, but I would have a tendency, I would think, in this game to kind of trust that steam here. But let me know what you think in the chat in this critical one. Notice. Between Tennessee and Vanderbilt. An awesome game here in the SEC, played in Nashville this afternoon, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific time. I want to hear what you have to say in the chat. This one was as high here as 149.5, so it does seem to be one-way traffic. And update on the steam, by the way. Like I said, there was a time during the end of the season, and I think if anybody tracks the steam, if you guys are does anybody write it down and kind of say how did it do, or look at this game, or bet the steam right now. The steam was mediocre in college basketball down the stretch. So far this week, the steam is 112-66 right now. So I'm not saying I just copy and paste here, but Okay. Greg, we already previewed the game that starts. Did you miss it? Do I have to go back and do it again? We did the first game we did was the 11:30 game. Hope you're on it with us. All right. Let's see. Greg says, well rested, Vandy in Tennessee. Well, Tennessee played, right? Well rested Vandy. Tennessee was struggling at the end of the game. Gotcha, Greg. Yep. All right. Robert says Vandy money line. Steve says under. Okay, I guess that's gonna be it there. Oh, our Tom's on the under here as well. Give me the under in this one with Tennessee and Vanderbilt. I gotta go under here.
Critical notice.
All right, and I think that's it in that one. Okay, let's get to a couple more here right now in college basketball. I got a few more lined up for you. We've got North Texas taking on Tulsa here in this one. So let's get to the American here. This is an American quarterfinal, but I did want to take a look here at this one at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. We're previewing afternoon games here for the most part on the morning steam. Mikey will have you covered with the primetime action. Tulsa comes in here on a great winning streak right now, and they are looking pretty good here with this roll that they're on here currently. Tulsa, right now they are a 7.5 point favorite. The total right around 142.5 here, it feels like, for the Golden Hurricane. They've won 5 straight, just 3-6, however, in their last 9 games overall. North Texas has won 4 of 5. They've actually covered 4 of the last 5 against Tulsa. They're the 6th seed. Tulsa's the 3 seed, 25-6, but North Texas does have some, good postseason experience of late. North Texas has won 3 straight games coming in, including their win over Florida Atlantic yesterday. They did get the money in that one, and North Texas is 11-4 against the spread as an underdog here. Tulsa, meanwhile, they are 13-10 against the spread as a favorite, 17-12 against the spread overall. Tulsa, these 5 games they've won here over Charlotte, UTSA, Tulane, ECU, and Temple. They went 3-2 ATS in those. These 2 teams met twice this year. Tulsa won at home, 82-66 as a 9-point favorite. North Texas won at home, 72-67. North Texas was an underdog there in that one. So let's see how you have it here. North Texas playing well. They are a total slow down team. I mean, they are supposed to be a defensive, they're a top 30 defensive scoring team, and offensively, they are they're almost in the bottom 300, the bottom of the group here, 294th in scoring, actually. But Tulsa's kind of the opposite. They are a top 20 team in scoring. So you have a big contrast of styles really between these 2 teams. For Tulsa here, good run here for Tulsa on this winning streak right now. Now, North Texas, like I said, they will slow you down if they want to. It feels like this is the way they've always gone about their business, and it's kind of led to them having a rash of low-scoring games in roles like this. When you get into these tournament settings, these day games, these neutral site games, it usually goes under this number. And, North Texas will break you down. They'll slow you down. We'll say, though, Tulsa, like I said, 17-6 to the over as a favorite. North Texas, 5-10 to the under as an underdog. Both meetings did go over, however, this season. Do you think it'll happen again here in Birmingham? UAB plays Charlotte in the other game, by the way. UAB favored by 5.5. Let's go to the chat here. North Texas and Tulsa. Greg says 75-68 here. North Texas for Bobby Mack. Take the 7.5 with North Texas, says Greg. Ours on North Texas as well. And Greg has it real close. Blues on North Texas. Greg says Tulsa will not cover in this game. All right. I think North Texas does what they do, and I will take the under in this one. Ever you get these guys in a neutral site game, they're going to look to, especially as a dog, keep it slow and low. I think here in this one, I know they went over in both those games, but I'm going to take the under here in this one. Of course I am. Okay, let's keep it going. I got a couple more here for you. Oh, oops. Steve says North Texas and under. Sounds like I'm looking at. Okay, here we go. Is the golf on the golf channel yet, or is it still ESPN, guys? Oh, my life. Okay, here we go. Hey, got to tag on UMass. Let's go to the MAC semis here with my man Frank Martin of Mass. What does that say? Massachusetts. Did I get it right? Man, poor Ramon. He was losing his mind. Okay, I had it right. Just put UMass like everybody else, right? UMass is the 8th seed here. Toledo is the 4th seed. You do have, I'd call him legendary coach Frank Martin. They just upset Miami of Ohio in one of the biggest wins for anybody this season. Let's call it like it is, even though it's in the MAC. UMass is 9-3 against the spread is as an underdog. That's total Frank Martin action right there here. Look, Toledo's been a pretty decent cover here. UMass actually just 13-18 against the spread this season. Toledo 17-13 against the spread overall, but Toledo just 7-10 against the spread as a favorite. Watch out here with this one. I will say this. You want to look at these two teams when they match up together, talking about UMass and Toledo. It has been under city forever between these two teams, long before Martin got in here, I think, in this series. It is a dead solid under, I'm pretty sure, when these two teams meet. And here we are. We're playing this one in Cleveland, Ohio, here between Massachusetts and Toledo here tonight. Let me look at the numbers here, see if I got them here, at least the ones from the last few years, because I think that it's a series history that goes back before their overall meetings together. They didn't really meet that often, so maybe I would throw it out. They did meet back in January. It was actually an over, though, 84-82 in favor of UMass in that one, 166, and that went over the 163.5. So maybe here, look, it's 158 now. Let me see here. UMass is a 3-point dog, and the total is down to 156. Yeah, okay. See, it does keep pressing under here right now. Look, I'm not sure we're going to get a big number out of these two. I know we're in the MAC, and these totals look high today, but let's see what you got here. We're almost done with our college basketball, and that game's about to start here in a few minutes, and the golf's going on here right now. Good tennis matches here today as well. We got some great matches. Alcaraz and Medvedev. Oh, it's tomorrow, actually. No, okay. Tennis is tomorrow. Let me hear from you. This one's at 5 Eastern and 2 Pacific here with UMass and Toledo. UMass coming off the massive victory there here in the semifinals. Toledo, meanwhile, let's make sure we get them in. They beat Bowling Green just 77-76 in a thriller yesterday. They were favored by 1.5. They won by 1 point. So I love what Frank Martin's doing here. I think Massachusetts is probably going to win this game. Let's this total keeps going down as well right here. Let's see what you got in the chat. Maybe I'll go the opposite. Nobody's really doing anything here. Here's Robert on UMass, though. And Greg has it 80-77. Robert likes UMass, and I like UMass too. Give me UMass in this one. I think they'll win. I'm going to take them on the money line also, but we'll take the points here on the show. Give me UMass in this one over Toledo tonight. Coach Martin, working his magic a little bit for sure here in this one. They come in off of a tournament win there over Miami of Ohio. Like I said, they were getting 6.5 in that game and made them. Once they got into the lead, it did feel like it was all over for Miami O, didn't it? Oh, thank you, Robert. Is it okay? Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sabalenka and Noskova, the surprise semifinalist in here, and Rybakina and Svitolina there yesterday. Svitolina getting in there too. So good semifinals there tonight at 7 Eastern and 9 Eastern. Thank you, Robert. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. And remember Camby? Boy, he could really play, couldn't he? Okay, a couple more here. Got to look at this one. Let's go to the Big East. Now, look, the story in the Big East, and we'll let Mike, like I said, Mikey will have some more coverage for you here later on today. But let's go to the semifinals here, and I'm going to look at Seton Hall and St. John's. John Hall and Oates, John Hall, what's his name? John Oates and Daryl Hall, Seton Hall and St. John's here. So you do have Coach in here, 7.5 point favorite right now. The story here at the Big East tournament, though, has to be Easy Ed Cooley with the big win yesterday for Georgetown. They'll play Connecticut. Watch out, by the way. Come on. Let's go, Easy Ed. Could Georgetown could they do it, you guys, and beat Connecticut today? Oh, man. Well, they might cover, though, at least. But kind of interesting, though, right? Ed Cooley, here he is. Some people are tired of Ed Cooley, but I'm not. So I thought it was a great job there yesterday by Georgetown, no matter how you look at it. But I'm looking at St. John's and Seton Hall here. That's the preview game. Seton Hall 21-11. St. John's ranked 13th, 26-6. They looked pretty good yesterday in the win there over Providence. I was on Providence. St. John's crushed them. Don't ever go away from Coach Ramon. What are you doing? These two teams actually just met on March the 6th. It was 72-65 there as St. John's got the win. They kind of own Seton Hall right now, but Seton Hall having kind of an uprising here. Every few years, maybe every 5 or 10 years, Seton Hall jumps up and looks pretty good here. But, man, I don't know. I think this is probably St. John's spot. Now, look, you might think here that there's some tendencies here that Seton Hall does kind of go over in the tournament setting, but I think Coach dictates the pace. And I say Coach, you know who I'm talking about, Coach Patino, but I just call him Coach. Here, where we hung out together in some of those clubs, if you know what I mean. Just kidding. But obviously a great game here. So let me get this out, though, real quick, because, look, these two are under teams for sure here this year, big time. St. John's is 9-19 to the under as a favorite. Seton Hall is 11-21 to the under overall. Seton Hall comes in here, like I said, like massive under, 3-7 to the under as a dog. They haven't beaten St. John's in quite a long time. Steam real quick here, guys. I'll finish the story, but Tennessee is being steamed here in that game against Vanderbilt. We just talked about it. They were getting 1.5. Now it's a pick'em here. In fact, Tennessee might be turning into a favorite here right now. They're 1.5 here at DK, it looks like, even though it's juiced to Vandy. Tennessee has become the favorite in that game over Vandy right now. Okay, let me finish up here, though, with this one. For Seton Hall here, for St. John's here, 18 of their last 19 conference tournament games have been over this particular total. In fact, it's been over 135. However, these two teams are dead solid under teams, combined 23-41 to the under. And both regular season meetings did go under this season, although not under the win for St. John's last time out, just last week or so, was 72-65. That was 137. It stayed under, but it was 138.5. The first meeting at St. John's, they won 65-60, did not cover the spread. That was 125 points, but the total was 145.5, and a higher number was expected. But like I said, St. John's has actually gone over this tournament number here in 18 of their last 19 conference tournament games. That makes it tough. That makes it a little bit interesting, in my opinion. Now, Seton Hall's been absolutely terrific as an underdog this season. They're 8-2 as a dog. St. John's comes in here just 15-13 against the spread as a favorite here. Seton Hall's been one of the best covered teams of the season. They come in off the win over Creighton. Best cover dogs. Coming off the win over Creighton, 72-61 is a 3-point favorite. Before that, it was the season finale against St. John's that they did lose, 72-67. St. John's actually got the money there in that one. This one feels like it's going to be a very good game for sure. Let's get your plays in the chat. We're almost done with these games here. Where's the tournament game? It's 8:30, right? Is it on CBS Sports? You'd think I'd know. I do know usually, but sometimes I get a little busy here with our show. Darn. Okay, let me get your plays here in this one between Seton Hall and St. John's. Okay, and it's going to be Greg Gibson here. He likes 70-63, Seton Hall in the points. Robert's on Seton Hall. And Kelly says, yep, we're in Madison Square Garden here. I mean, it's St. John's second home, basically, right? Good point, Kelly. And let's see here. Greg says in these you gotta take the points here. Man, these are such hardcore under teams but St. John's in the tournament setting always going over here. Seton Hall knows what they need to do. I think here in this one, I'm gonna say go under here with St. John's and Seton Hall as my play. Give me the under here at 133. Okay, Fox 1 for that game, Kelly, for the George Washington St. Louis game? No, that can't be right. Oh, I thought A10 was Peacock. Oh, I'll you got it right. You got it right, I'm sure. Or maybe I said the wrong game. Let me just, Ken Palm, they're great. They've got it here. They've got all the TV channel. USA Network. Oh, that's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, USA Network. That's right. I remember that from last night. Okay, pardon me. I know I should be doing the show. I mean, you don't need me changing my channel. But come on, the game's underway here. Okay, Kelly's on St. John's right now. The game is not underway, but there's Robbie Avila, with his glasses there and his beer belly. I'd like to party with that cowboy. All right. I think I got one more here, and then we're done. And then we got two hockey games. We're out of here. South Carolina State and Howard is my final game of the night here right now. And look, going to preview them all here. So we've already seen two moves on this game between South Carolina State and the Howard Bison. And let me get to it here in the MEAC. In this one, they tipped off here right now. Let me see. Let me get this here. There has been, there was a breaking news story here. I'm about 10 minutes late on it, I think. Okay. No. Okay, here we go. Where am I at? So where am I at? I'm in Las Vegas. Okay, South Carolina State and Howard is our final game. This is a MEAC semifinal at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific here tonight. And we do have Howard. Like I said, they got steamed here, so it's a little bit higher here right now. Howard has been, what can you say? Howard is currently coming in here as the number 1 seed. South Carolina State is number 5. Oh, we were having such a good show too, and I'm kind of flamed out here. 16 and 147. I'm hard on myself. I say, oh man, that was a crummy show. I like today's show. Okay, here we go. 16 and 147 here in this one. The steam came in on Howard. The steam came in on the over. Howard is a very strong cover here this season for a team that ends up laying a lot of points. They are 13 and 5 against the spread as a favorite, 20 and 7 against the spread overall. South Carolina State's on a great little run here, winning 3 straight. They beat Norfolk 88-82 as an 8-point dog there yesterday to advance into this game here right now. Remember, Howard is got the automatic berth into the semifinals, so could kind of compare these. Really, Howard beat Norfolk in their last game 84-76 on the road. South Carolina State just beat Howard in this neutral site here. Actually, it was on the road. I was in the Scope Arena, Norfolk's home, 88-82. But South Carolina State is just 9 and 13 against the spread as an underdog, 12 and 16 against the spread overall. Howard, a real strong team. This is a pretty big number. The regular season meeting, actually, Howard won the game 85-57 at home, covering 14.5. However, South Carolina State won at home over Howard 58-57 as an 8.5-point dog. So maybe South Carolina State has been a decent team here this year. They've obviously got the win here in tournament play. Howard is supposedly much better than South Carolina State here right now. But let's see how you have it in this one. That steam came in there. And also, Howard does show a little bit of penchant in these conference tournament games of going over here. Let's see if I got the details on that. For Howard here, let's see. They've gone 10 and 8 to the over is a favorite. There's not a lot of trends involving these two teams, I guess. The win for Howard at home was an over, but the win for SC State at home was an under here in this one. Oh, man, this one's tough, but we got to cover it. Let's see what you got in the chat. Anything here in the MEAC game? The other game is Delaware State and NC Central. By the way, I do like the over in that game, but maybe that's where I should have went. I should have previewed that one, but covering the early games here. All right. Let's see. Howard here for Robert McCormick. Yeah, man, Howard should blow these guys out, actually. Kelly said, but, I don't know. The MEAC has been a little bit interesting here, it feels like, so far. Kelly's got the under, and Duquesne and VCU here in this one. Howard's been such a good cover this year. I'll take him. Give me Howard. I'll lay these big points over South Carolina State. Doesn't feel like we're seeing many big favorites get the money here in the tournament action, does it? But I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Robert here. I'm going with me, Robert. I'm not blaming you if we go down. Let's win this one. Okay. Let me go. Hey, we're not done. We're not done. We got 2 hockey games, and I want to preview real quick the World Baseball Classic. We're not going to get out of here without talking a little WBC tonight with the USA playing. That's where it's going to be great college basketball. Look, we're going to have a great time, but got to be honest, I got to be looking forward to this baseball action tonight. Say what you will. And funny here, we've seen the comments kind of come out, mostly from Dominican Republic, but the World Series in the Major League Baseball is cool, but this is bigger. Nobody on Team USA is saying that, but watch out, Dominican Republic here. Okay, here we go. NHL tonight, Kings and Islanders. 2 games. Kings and Islanders here with the Islanders at home, $1.30, $1.35 or so. Kings on the road, been alternating wins and losses here right now. They are playing their third straight road game. They beat Columbus and lost to Boston, but who doesn't lose to Boston in Boston right now? The Islanders with back-to-back wins over St. Louis and San Jose. It wasn't easy in those 1-goal games. The San Jose victory was in overtime, and the St. Louis victory was in overtime as well, but they won. Did the Islanders here, and I don't know, it looks a little cheap here. As Kings seem to keep having problems on the road here, and we know they've been vulnerable. The Kings are in desperate mode. It feels like actually right now, because the Kings right now are currently on the outside looking in. They actually trail the Kraken by a tiebreaker here. They need to keep winning. The Islanders, meanwhile, they're feeling comfortable, I think, of their third place position here, even if they fall into the wild card there. But Columbus is a team that's 3 back in the Metro. So Islanders got to be feeling like they're going to be able to get it done here and make the playoffs. Kings, not so much. They need this win. Kings have owned the series. They've won 4 straight meetings against them here, but I'm kind of thinking the Islanders at home. They've won 7 of their last 9. The Kings do own the Islanders. They've won 4 straight over them. They've actually won 8 of the last 9 meetings over the last 5 years. Between the two teams, Kings have gone under in 6 of their last 7 on the road. Islanders have gone over in 7 of their last 8 here right now. I'm taking the Islanders. I think it's a good price here. I'm worried about the Kings here. They definitely have some issues scoring sometimes here. They just had 1 goal in that Boston game, although the Columbus game was 5-4, and they beat the Islanders in LA back on March the 5th, just a week ago, pretty much. It was 5-3. 5-3. The Kings did get the win there over the Islanders. I think the Islanders return the favor on short notice. Greg Gibson style. Give me the Islanders tonight. All right, here we go with yeah, you're right, Kelly. I mean, this team, a total dichotomy for Boston there, right? I mean, they can't win on the road, and they won all these games at home right now. The solution is here. Kings money line. They own the Islanders. They need the win. I'm totally with you on that solution. I hope the Kings do win. I'm betting the Islanders. Maybe I'm taking them because I want, maybe I'm a Kings fan, by the way. They're my number 1 team. Yeah, I'm kind of gravitated toward the Ducks. I always liked Montreal too, but, the Kings, when I was a kid and there wasn't every game on TV and I lived in San Diego, only one hockey team was on TV all the time because the Kings are on old Channel 9 for me, and I used to watch all the Kings games with Bob Miller, play-by-play. Kentucky and Florida taking some steam here right now in this one with the over here with Kentucky and Florida, and this one gets underway here in about 90 minutes. It was 159. We're up to 161.5 here. Steam to the over with Kentucky and Florida. Kentucky, definitely a type of team that puts up some, numbers in postseason tournament style play. Actually, with Kentucky, we often see them in years past kind of go over these numbers when they're in the tournament format. So we'll see going up against a ranked team. That does seem like it should be a pretty high scoring game, doesn't it? JP Farley likes the under. Jordy likes the Islanders. Bobby Mack on the Islanders here. Kelly says move to 6 and go under. Great call, Kelly. Talking about dialing up, buying points, a half a point. I believe that the hockey, it's the one area where I truly believe that, as long as, how you can go down to 6 here, right? So we already know it's already 5.5, right? But if it's only like 6 under 35, 6 under 40, I'm all about it, man. You got to get off those numbers here and make sure in hockey. Remember what I've said about hockey. Usually in hockey, there's either 4 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, or 7 goals, pretty much, right? Unless you're Edmonton. So St. Louis here leading it after 3-pointer there, 9-7. JP can't figure out the Islanders. Greg says take the Islanders. Next up, one more. Speaking of the Oilers, they are taking on the Blues here. And, well, what are you going to say about this one? You got to go over, don't you? You got to go over in every Edmonton game. You got to go over blind right now. These guys are just ridiculous. Unfortunately, I feel bad there. They gave up 7 goals to Dallas right after they beat Vegas and Colorado, and you're like, oh man, the Oilers, if they could just do this every game. And then they got blown out there by Dallas. Really was embarrassing, quite frankly. So why wouldn't it go over here with St. Louis today? St. Louis has been playing well, no doubt about it. I mean, you might want to take them in this. I mean, I'm probably going to have a premium on St. Louis, to be honest with you, especially with the Oilers. Is this still the price? $1.55 here right now? Down to $1.50, $1.45 here in a few places there. But for me, look, the Blues are playing well. They lost to the Islanders a couple games back, but they come off the win over Carolina. They beat Anaheim. They beat San Jose. They beat Seattle. Those are decent teams right now. They're doing a good job. Edmonton, meanwhile, they've had their moments here and looking good. This is a nice game here, actually. The one thing about St. Louis, right, is that they're done. They're not going anywhere. They're well in last place, but they're playing pretty hot here all of a sudden, and I think they might be able to hang in this one. I'm going to go over here. I didn't even look at the goalies here this morning to see if it's right, and let me peek at it here real quick on the goalie computer over here. And then we're going to get real quick to the baseball games tonight. Let's go talk about Team USA and how you guys feel about it. But give me the over 6.5. I mean, come on. Every Edmonton game is 7 goals or more right now, isn't it? Okay, Sorokin is in there for the Islanders today. We don't know anything here about this game, but Sorokin is in there for the Islanders. We know that for sure. He's been great this season. Did kind of struggle back from the Olympic break a little bit, but hey, that was probably expected. All right, that's it for the morning steam, but let me take a look at those baseball games with you guys here. I want to know what you guys think in the baseball here tonight. First up, 2 games. We're playing in Miami here first with the Dominican Republic. And I'm going to have a college baseball hopefully card here today as well. Dominican Republic taking on Korea. And Dominican Republic, I think they're favored by, let me make sure, I think it's 4.5 right now, and the total probably 10.5. Maybe it's 10. Oh, it's up to 11. It's up to 11 here right now. And Dominican Republic is up to -5. Okay. Hey, look, these are dicey lines here, but I do like the Dominican Republic here to get it done and probably go over. I mean, you got Vladdy, you got Soto, you got Fernando Tatis Jr. He hits a home run, and, right, it's like a big party over there, and it's a little bit over the top. And Fernando Tatis Jr. did say to Padres fans after the last game he'd like to hear noisemakers at the game. Well, you know what? In the major league, you can't bring noisemakers into the game, so they're going to try it, but unless they catch them there. And I'm sure it'll be a big thing. People will try to take him in there in the first day. But they've been the most explosive offense in the World Baseball Classic, and they're facing a thin Korea pitching staff. It'll be Hyunjin Ryu on the mound for Korea with this Dominican power surge. And Korea might be able to get a couple here against Christopher Sanchez, I think, is on the mound for Dominican Republic. So I think it'll go over 11. I'm going to take Dominican Republic -5. I'm going to go over 11 here as the DR continues to roll at the World Baseball Classic. And let's see here, anything from you guys there? Dominican for the solution. And Robert going over. Oh, I think that was a hockey game there. Thank you to our tops. Thank you for your support. Hey, everyone. One more game here. And it's going to be the United States taking on the United States taking on Canada here. Obviously, it's not hockey. It's not hockey, but watch out. The U.S. is definitely capable of winning this game and covering this spread of 4.5 runs at -120. And I'm going to bet them to do so. But it comes with a caveat here a little bit. The U.S. does not look like they have the motivation. They look like a team that is going to lose somewhere down the line here and not get in. I mean, that game obviously was disgusting to lose that game to Italy. Yes, Italy has all American players. Well, actually, they got one from Canada too, North American players, but they are not motivated to win this tournament. They're just taking it as an extended spring training. It feels like, yeah, you can put on your USA hat and say root, root, root for USA. There, look. Now, the Olympics is bringing baseball back, so there's going to be other opportunities. But in the world setting, right? There's only a few. I mean, you don't get chances to be the best in the world. Why the U.S. does not take this game serious is an embarrassment. It's a shame, and it's really insulting to American baseball fans that they're not performing up to the snuff. It feels like right now. So they better cover this game. They better beat the pants off of Canada, with all due respect to our Canadian friends. Canada's been okay. I mean, no doubt about it. Canada, we've seen some moments from them as well. But the U.S. lineup is stacked, elite bats. Canada's pitching depth has struggled against high-power offenses in tournament-style play for many years against the U.S., no doubt about it. So I think a multi-run margin is likely here if the American offense gets going. But again, if it's 0-0 after 4 innings, I'm ready to pounce on Canada, win the game, because the U.S., that means they're just not focused and not trying and don't even care at this point. The thing is, when you're playing the USA, every team, it's kind of like the old adage, right? We're everybody's rivals. And, like I said, the U.S., half the players are ready to get back to spring training and start the season here, it feels like. I'll also go over both teams have shown good scoring, explosive scoring. Canada has some great bats, no doubt about it. And I think with the bullpen usage here, now the starters can go longer, but again, even Japan's like sending some of their starters back to spring training after they get it done. How does that work even, right? So give me the over here at 10 runs. I'll take the U.S. They better win this one by more than 5, but I might be just going a homer on this one. All the number, you look at it, they really should beat this team. It's just a matter of mental focus. And I guess that's what we're supposed to be handicapping here. So I guess I should take Canada, but all right, here we go. All right, international teams are playing with more pride for their name, especially the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, right? Remember, these are great baseball. I'm really happy for the performance that Venezuela put on in the tournament as well for their country, with all the controversy that's gone. I knew the big disappointment was Cuba. And next when we go for them, when we go for Cuba, and remember, I was saying, oh yeah, it looks like Fidel's been rolling out the same uniforms for 40 years. So watch out when Cuba, once we get the current regime out of Cuba, they'll come back in the World Baseball Classic and be even better. And speaking of politics and sports, which everyone loves when I talk about it, will Iran actually be uninvited to the World Cup? I really think they should invite Iran. I think it'd be the problem is Iran is kind of saying, they don't want the same thing to happen to the women's team with the 7 players that ask for asylum, because there'll be some of the men probably maybe a little different because the women and the oppression and the way that all went down. I thought it was a beautiful and spectacular moment despite what's going on over there. And yeah, maybe we shouldn't be meddling in other countries' business, but like I said, they've been dicking around for 50 years here. So we'll see. The men, though, they've been talking about maybe uninviting them, but maybe because of their own, they say safety, but really it's because maybe, some men might want to, try to get out of Iran right now or something. I don't know. We have so many great Iranians in the United States that came here after the Iranian Revolution. We have such a great, Iranian community in the United States, and it really came in 1979, 1980 after the Islamic Revolution. So Cuba did not have a good tournament. They were kind of one of the big losers, I thought, of the tournament this year, but should be a good, exciting game tonight. Thanks, everybody. Let's do the drawing. By the way, please, here, if you're not already subscribed and you like this show, please consider spending 41 cents a day on me to do this show by getting more picks from me over at winnable.com. Not only is supporting me here to do this show every day, but also you keep me fed. You keep me fed because Mikey only pays me hot dogs and something else. I think he said he was going to send me as my pay this year. So 41 cents a day, get me here coming. If all the subscribers cancel tomorrow, I'm canceling this show. So please consider subscribing for $17.10 a month when you use the promo code STEAM over at winnable.com. It's not a donation. It's not, you're going to get plays from me every day sent to your phone, more plays in a timely fashion too. You know, we kind of, I'm not saying, hey, look, all the plays are serious. I went, had a great run here in the NBA recently, and we try to pick all winners, but I give you my best plays here in the morning, but then there are some other games we don't have, and then the news changes. So get my picks over at winnable.com/Ramon. That's how I do it. That's how I give you more content here. We had some winners here yesterday. What did we have here? Orlando and Washington over. We had Medvedev there. We had Gibson. I don't think it counted that one, but Gibson, she did cover the spread there, right, against Towson in that one. We had Mboko. It hasn't graded yet for some reason, but we had Mboko. Let me see if I need to refresh this or something. Mboko covered the game spread there in that one yesterday, so you get good, solid plays from me here. And hey, also, you get my Cover the Spread show. I'm going to start sending it out over there. Look at a thumbs up. Get my Cover the Spread show over there. They made me the host of that there now. Good day yesterday with some other plays. College basketball, we had the Seton Hall winner. We had Akron and Buffalo in there. We had UCF, just went 3-2 there. And also you get my golf plays sent to your phone and everything. How we doing with Henley? Henley's looking good there at 17 under, huh? Doing pretty good. Hogard, he's got a chance there too. Let me peek at the leaderboard here real quick, and then we'll get you out of here. I know there's some other games coming up here right now. So let's see. Bryson DeChambeau leads over there at the Live Tour this week. Corey Connors, Canada, 9 under here right now. Sepp Straka, 8 under. Xander Schauffele, 7 under. Lee Hodges, 6 under. Mav McNeely has not teed off yet. Cam Young, 5 under. Adam Smotherman, 5 under. What's this guy's name? Jacob Bridgman. Junior Bridgman, I think, played for the Bucks, didn't he? Jason Day just birdied. He's 4 under here. Henley hasn't teed off yet, so I like my position with Henley there right now. And we'll see how the others do at the PGA. Thanks a lot, everybody. Oh, let's do the drawing here. Let's hear from Mikey Money.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Okay, real quickly, one piece of breaking news coming in right now. The Formula One races scheduled in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia will not go ahead due to the conflict in the Middle East. That just in right now. No contingency has been announced just yet. The races could get postponed. I don't know if they'll get moved right now. It might be a little bit too late. So maybe they'll just come back around there. Hopefully this thing's over here. Doesn't seem like 3 or 4 weeks is going to do it, guys. But maybe, hopefully, look, I think we're doing the right thing, but it kind of looks awkward there too a little bit. We make mistakes out there. Planes are crashing. We're blowing up girls' schools by accident. So Not great. Maybe we'll leave with our tail between our legs, but yet still accomplish taking out a lot of their military might. Anyway, there's got to be do that at least. Okay, let's do the drawing here right now. Thank you everybody for a great show. And let's see here, George Washington doing a good job against St. Louis. That game's about to tip off here right now with Ohio State and Michigan. Hey, anytime Ohio Blue just won the drawing. Anytime Ohio State and Michigan play, I mean, it's going to be a great one. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thank you to everyone. Make sure you're subscribing with me over at winnable.com and join me over there for just a $20 bill, basically 1 month. You come here every day. If you like me doing this show, let's show me some love there, and I'll send you my late plays here. You usually get about 3, 4, 5 updates a night. You get more info from me every day over at winnable.com. That's going to do it here for the morning steam. Mikey Money joins you here today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. Get you ready for the primetime action. Also, don't forget BB MMA picks available right now. Preview that card. Hey, subscribe with me here right now because I'm going to bring you my UFC card here tonight. I'll send it out here overnight. So, all right, everybody, thanks a lot for the Sports Money Network. I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.
That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. Ramon Scott, sports money. Wake your ass up and let's get to that.